Good morning. Welcome to the third T20 International between Japan and Indonesia. The two men's sides of each countries are here in Sano at the Sano International Cricket Ground, as are the commentators, myself, Alan Kerr, Head of Cricket Operations at the Japan Cricket Association, and my colleague for these 3 days, Tanmoy Mukherjee. Good morning, Tanmoy.
Good morning, Alan. Much better day out here today.
Finally, the sun is shining.
The sun is out. The Indonesian team is wearing a new look today.
Yeah, the Indonesians are resplendent in yellow today. They've got two kits. I'm a bit envious. We've only got one.
Yes, very bright yellow away kit, reminiscent of the Australian kit from the 90s.
Yes, absolutely. That's not canary yellow. It's Australian gold, my friend, and don't you forget it. All right. News from the middle. Japan have won the toss for the third match in a row and will be batting for the third match in a row. So we can wait to see the batting order. But I'm going to throw Tanmoy under the bus here, and I'm going to read the Japan team, and you can read the Indonesian team.
Sure.
So, Japan will be captained by Kendall Kadawaki Fleming once again. Ryan Drake comes in for his debut. Fast bowler based in Sydney. He will be captain number 102 for Japan. Shogo Kimura, Piyush Kumbhare, Kento Otodobel, Alexander Shirai Patmore, Declan Suzuki, Ibrahim Takahashi, Makoto Taniyama, Lachlan Yamamoto Lake, and Vinay Iyer complete the 11. That means that Leo Sakurano Thomas, Kohei Kubota, Super Navaratna, and Sabarish Ravichandran are rested. And how about the Indonesian team, Tanmoy?
The Indonesian team wears pretty much the same look. I'll just read out the names here. Ahmed Ramdhani, the wicketkeeper, starts the team sheet. Danielson, Johannes Havo, Ferdinando Banu Naik, Gede Agus Priyandana, who had a very good outing yesterday in the middle. Gede Dharma Artha, the left armour, has been rested today, and the standout bowler from the first game, Rogerio Maxi Koda, has taken his place in the 11. Gamantika, of course, leading the side with Arthawan, Ramamurthy, Anjar Tadaras, Afis, and Survey rounding off the 11 for Indonesia there.
Yep. So at the moment, Japan 2-0 up in the series. So they have already won the trophy, but plenty to play for as we look ahead to the T20 World Cup qualifiers, which will start on Saturday this week now. What day is it today? It's Tuesday, Tanmoy. Goodness.
Yes, already.
I'm all out of sync with these national holidays and this series starting on a Sunday. So yes, welcome wherever you're listening from. Good to have you with us. And the Indonesia players are out in the middle. A couple of Japanese batsmen are out there. Batsmen, I keep saying batsmen. Batters. We have Kendall Kadawaki Fleming. It looks like Lachlan Yamamoto Lake is going to take first hit. These two, of course, put on 128 in 67 deliveries yesterday.
Yes.
So that was some serious momentum. They both became the first and second players, respectively, to register half-centuries in official T20 internationals for Japan. So, exciting times for them. It looks like our man Koda is going to have the new ball, number 27. Tell you what, Tanmoy, they're wearing white numbers on the yellow shirts.
On yellow shirts.
That is pretty difficult to see for us, isn't it?
Very difficult to see them.
So, yes, I should warn everyone, I am also acting as match referee, so I've got to... In fact, I should turn it on, shouldn't I? I've got a radio with me, which you may hear buzzing from time to time. Direct line to the umpires, which is always quite nice. We can check on catches and run-outs and things like that, just to get, the correct information. There it is, beeping away.
And we also have a new umpiring pair today, don't we?
We do. So, Rob Newman and Adam Burst, they've both done one game in this series already, and here they are together. So, first ball coming up. Maxi Koda was exceptional in that first game. Let's see if he can pick up where he left off after being rested yesterday. And aggression, first ball. I thought there was a noise there, Tanmoy. I don't know about you.
It seemed to be maybe the bat hitting the ground.
Yeah, the keeper went up, umpire unmoved.
Good true bounce there off a good length on first up for Koda there.
Yeah, it's the first time we've got a morning game, so bright sunshine, and then the pitch will probably be, the outfield will probably be a bit dewy, but it wasn't that bad actually walking around out there this morning. I was quite surprised.
Maybe I think the bowler run-ups on the school end were still a little wet out there, thanks to the rain yesterday and overcast conditions. But Things seem to have dried off really well. The ground is looking in very good condition. The pitch too seems to be, of course, it'll look to the viewers as a day 3 pitch, of course, all the 3 games being played on the same turf. But we are hoping for a much truer surface today, harder and drier as compared to the last 2 days.
Yeah, Lachlan Yamamoto Lake looks like he means business today, doesn't he? He's swinging hard from ball 1. It
Yes,
looks
he
like
is really
that's going to
going
be a
for it.
wide.
He's really going for it, of course, coming off the back of a very, very good half century there yesterday.
Unbeaten, of course.
Yes, and looking to continue with his purple patch with the bat.
Now, Tamoy, you and I have the honour, not just us, Shun Hashipur, who's commentating on the Japanese stream.
Yes.
We have the honour of choosing the man of the series between the three of
Absolutely,
us.
it's going to be a hard call to make.
Yeah, some good standout performances, really. Ooh.
It's been flayed
Uppish.
over a gully, and the batsmen have come back for a second run there.
So we're up and running. First run's off the bat. Bit streaky, I'd say, but
Streaky indeed, but
doesn't matter how you get them, does it?
I think the batsmen have been, the batters have been in fine form, and they are going to chance their arms here.
Yeah, just looking at this lineup again, it's pretty deep, isn't it?
Yes,
Japan
it
really
is.
do. Well, they'd probably say you'd bat down to 9. I guess the tail end would be Piyush, Ryan, and Kento. That's hit hard, but straight to mid-off. They'll come through for a single.
Yes,
He's made a bit of a mini of that.
another debut for Japan in this 11, isn't it?
Yep, as mentioned at the top, Ryan Drake comes in. He's got 56 on his back, and he is the 102nd player to represent the Japan men's team. So
Yes.
that takes us to what? 11 debutants
11
across
debutants.
the series?
Like you can field an
It's a
entire
whole new
team of
team.
debutants. It's very conventional field out there. A 7-2 field for Koda there.
Kadawaki Fleming about to face up to his first delivery of the innings, and yeah, there is acres of space on the leg side. He can't be straying with his line here because Kendall's basically got a free hit through mid-wicket. And that's where he goes. Just a tap though, so a simple single. We've got guys watching from all over the world. Plenty of people are watching in Japan, but they may well be on the Japanese stream, of course. Hopefully there's some Indonesians with us, so we've plenty around over the last couple of days. We've got people in Australia. We've got someone watching in Ireland. It's middle of the night in Ireland. Good commitment. Welcome wherever you are. Good to have you with us.
Yes, thanks for being on the channel with us. It's an early morning start here in Japan.
What time did your alarm go off, Tamoy?
It was about 6 o'clock in the morning.
6:15, the alarm went off in my house, which represents a bit of a lion for me, actually. Normally my kid's up at 5:30, so
Exactly.
I'll take what I can get. She slept a bit later today, so happy enough with that. That concludes the first over, 5 from it. Again, decent control from Kodda. That's kind of what we've come to expect from him.
Absolutely.
Just lost one out wide.
It'd be
loosening
interesting
the
to
third
see
ball.
who takes the new ball from the other end there, because Artha, the conventional, the left armour has been left out of the side today.
Yeah, who's going to open up? Number 11 is Priyandana. So he opened the batting yesterday, made 45 not out, and he's opened bowling today. So does a bit of everything, this guy.
Absolutely. We do get to see a lot of all-rounders in associate cricket, don't we? A lot of
we
multiple
do.
roles.
The guys who, the talented players tend to do a bit of everything.
Yes,
Kendall Kadawaki Fleming rolled his arm over yesterday.
absolutely.
I
And he's
saw him this morning. He was needing a bit of a rub down because he hadn't used some of those muscles for a while, I think.
81 he scored yesterday. 81 handsome runs.
81 from 40 balls, yeah. Yeah, we've got some guys from Indonesia, guys from Amsterdam, an ex-Indonesian player tuning in from Perth. Goodness.
Wow, welcome to the stream.
I've even got Abi Prey Dewan, who's been scoring the last 2 days, just making me acknowledge that we've got a new pair of scorers, which is correct.
Nicely struck.
That is nicely struck. That might run away, The outfield's a bit quicker today. No, he's just going to pull it up short of the boundary.
Up short.
And they're coming back for a third. It's
Excellent throw from the deep there.
well run. Yeah, Abby's telling me to remind us to got a new pair of scores. He's watching the stream now. He told me he couldn't score because he was terribly busy today, but he's watching the stream. Abby, what are you doing to me? Carl's back. just telling us that Rayo's an even better water boy than he is bowler. It's quite right. You'll see Rayo Sacolano Thomas rested today. He's bowled his complement of overs the last couple of days, so given a breather. You might see him on the scoreboard if you're lucky. Birmingham, we've got people watching from Birmingham. Again, it's the middle of the night in England. Good commitment. That's clipped into the leg side. Just a single in the end.
Yes, two of the fast bowlers from Japan being rested today, so it'll be interesting who takes up the new ball in the middle out there.
Yeah, we can. My betting. If we're going to go for an early guess, I would say Takahashi.
No, of
and
course,
Drake
Takahashi to start off.
Okay, so 2 balls into this over, 4 runs from it. So Priyan down under a little bit of pressure. I've got an extra fielder in on the leg side now for Kadawaki Fleming, and it's gone straight to that guy as well. So just as well that fielder was put in. 6-3 field now.
Yes, looks much more balanced field in terms of the nature of the bowler here. Is trying to bring the ball into the left-hander, which helps to have an extra fielder in the leg side.
Question from the YouTube comments. Thanks to the guys who are having a chat in there, joining the conversation, giving us something to talk about. Oh, single straight to the fielder. It's dangerous, but safe. Who is your favourite player from either side in the series so far, Tamoy? I think that's someone trying to get a bit of a glimpse into who we might give the tournament MVP to. So without giving too much away,
yes, I think,
who are you looking at?
I think a couple of standout performances from Japan there with the bat and with the ball. We saw Kadawaki Fleming absolutely flaying the bowlers to all parts of the ground yesterday. He couldn't really get a very good hit out in the middle in the first game, got out early, but we've also had Reo Sakurano Thomas rock up and bowl for 5 wickets on his debut, which is...
Oh, it's high. There's men underneath it. Now, they put catches down yesterday.
That's been excellently
They've taken that
held.
one.
Excellently held there.
That was a skyer, so he's done really well to get underneath that and hold it. That's the end of Lachlan Yamamoto Lake. Dismissed for 4 from 7 deliveries. Didn't quite get going today, but the intent was still there. The catcher.
Ramamurthy,
the catcher.
excellently held there. Indonesia, of course, grassing a few chances yesterday, would be much happier with their catching effort today to start off the proceedings. Of course, there's a long way to go. We're going to have a full 20-over game today as compared to the 17-over clash that we had yesterday due to the restrictions and the stoppages.
And catching can be contagious, can't it, Tamoy? If you drop one early, suddenly it becomes a thing that the whole team starts shelling them. But actually, if you take a catch like that, which is a good catch, a really difficult catch, running backwards over his shoulder into the sun as well,
yes,
he's taken that catch, and it will boost everyone in the field.
Absolutely, and you could see that from the energy displayed by the rest of the Indonesian fielders who ran up to the fielder to congratulate him, and it's going to be infectious to see the energy from the rest of the Indonesian boys.
Now, they did cross, but that doesn't mean anything anymore. So the new batter will strike. The new batter is Ibrahim Takahashi. Hasn't really had much of a go with the bat. Made 15 or so, I think, 14, 15 in the first game. Didn't get a bat yesterday, so he'll be keen to impose himself and have a bit of a hit out before the tournament. Another guy who's made his debut in this series.
Absolutely. Takahashi's hasn't had the chance to give an account of himself with the bat. He's, of course, opened the bowling for Japan and on both the games before.
Clipped into the leg side straight away. Now, we mentioned yesterday that we've got a whole load of kids watching from Melbourne. Paul Grant's class. They're all tuning in. Good to have you with us, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you can be here for the whole 3 hours. Does seem like a long class, 3 hours to get the whole game in, but we know you're with us now, so thanks for joining. Ayan Sharif says he's got some guys playing that he went to school with, which is good. Now, AJ Boss needs a bit of a talking to, I'm afraid, Tamoy. AJ Boss says that most of the Japanese players only have partial Japanese ancestry. I don't really know why that seems to matter. If you're half Japanese or full Japanese, what difference does it make? We discussed this a bit yesterday, didn't we?
Absolutely.
These guys You know, Kendall Kadawaki Fleming was born in Japan, lived here till he was 8 years old. Been very, very attached to Japanese cricket. He's been playing cricket in Japan for 7 years, since he was 19. He may live overseas, but he comes here every year.
Has been taken again.
He's dismissed. He's hit it straight to mid-off. Indonesia are up and about.
Both the half-centurions are back in the dugout from yesterday's game. You've had Kadawaki Fleming smash a full toss straight to mid-off, who's held on to another good catch there.
Fielder number 8.
Banu Naik there, Ferdinando Banu Naik, who's taken an excellent catch there. And Japan suddenly finds itself having 2 new players out in the middle. Might as well be looking at a new set of openers there.
Yeah, so good. It's good this for Japan. It means some other guys are going to get a go. I'm sure Kendall Kadawaki Fleming and Lachlan Yamamoto Lake would have preferred to have a longer hit, but they had their go yesterday.
From the looks of it, it's Vinay Iyer walking into the crease, who's going to partner Ibrahim Takahashi, who's just walked in like a couple of balls before. Koda there with the wicket. He's added to his tally from the first game. A much improved start on the field and with the ball by Indonesia.
Yeah, but just saying, just to carry on that thread we were talking about before the wicket fell, Japan, playing for Japan is something that a lot of these guys have aspired to for a long time. Vinay Iyer has just come to the crease. He's been living in Japan for 9 years.
Absolutely. And
made his debut yesterday. So when you commit that much time and energy to cricket in Japan, he coaches youngsters. He's up at 6 a.m. coaching youngsters during the week. He's formed his own club.
And he still has a regular job.
And yeah, exactly. He still goes to work. Yep. I mean, tell me this guy doesn't deserve to be out there playing, facing his firstborn international cricket now. Lets that one go. Vinay took his catch yesterday and was happy to have contributed in some regards, so he'll be delighted to be out there having a bat today. He's been a player of the year in domestic cricket twice,
absolutely, yes,
over the last few years. So Vinay is someone who everyone in Japan, domestic cricket, is very familiar with, and lots of people saying he's one of the best players. He's certainly in long format cricket. He would probably be one of the first names on the team sheet. You know, he's a bit long in the tooth now. Vinay is 35, 36 years old, but has got himself into great shape.
A quick single there.
And now he's off the mark. His first international run. Bit edgy as the throw came into the non-striker's end. He might have had his heart in his mouth, but
I think he'll have a few nerves settling down finally after scoring that first run.
Question about the production for the qualifiers. We will have a different production team. It will be a 6-camera setup with professional commentators, not jokers like myself and Tamway in the commentary box. But yeah, it's going to be a terrific setup for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers. So do tune in. It'll all be on ICC TV. And it will be available on the JCA's YouTube channel in Japan only, with Japanese commentary, for those who want to know.
Yes, we are all looking forward to another exciting weekend of international cricket coming up for Japan after such a long break.
Yeah, it's been a long time between matches. 1,401 days for the men's team. It's a long wait. And just going back to the rest of these players, we mentioned Kendall, we've mentioned Vinay. A lot of these youngsters, Ryan Drake, Declan Suzuki, Lachlan Yamamoto Lake, Kento Otodobel, these guys were all lined up to play in the under-19 qualifiers last year. These are players that have been on the radar a long time. They come to Japan regularly and play in domestic cricket. These are boys that are looking to commit to the long-term future of Japan, and it's not unusual across the associate world for the best players to be based overseas. You kind of have to be, because if you're going to get better, you need to be exposed to a higher standard of cricket, don't you?
Absolutely. Most of the international cricketers out there playing full member nations also ply their trade in different counties in England, playing Shield cricket in Australia and many other places. And of course, with the advent of T20 cricket around the world, everybody is choosing to play overseas, sharpening their skills. and there's no reason why Japanese cricketers shouldn't be doing that as well.
Yeah, we'd love to see more opportunities for our boys based here. Look at someone like Makoto Taniyama.
Absolutely.
I think I've spoken to the guys at the Everest Premier League, for example, in Nepal.
Yes.
I don't think he'd be out of place there at all.
No.
I think he'd do just fine.
There's a lot of competition there for leg spinners, and of course, T20 cricket has had a terrific demand for leg spinners rising up. And Taniyama will be extremely happy to have opportunities to play in whichever form it comes in.
And Japan doing what they've done all series, stealing the quick singles.
Running hard, Takahashi there. He's known for his running skills and his running between wickets. He's a smart cricketer there.
I mean, the fielder at mid-on, he's barely, 15 yards from the bat, but 20 yards from the bat, but they've still managed to get through for that single. So that's all about timing, isn't it? Knowing that you haven't hit it too hard to the fielder and being able to judge that single.
It's all about the feel of the bat. A lot of good energies from Indonesia going into this game. Of course, much better effort in the field already. Two catches and well held.
Questions around ancestry. AJ's not leaving this one alone. That looks like it'll be called wide. There's a bit of a mix of these guys. So Kendall was born in Japan. He was born down in Kyushu. Mm-hmm. Left when he was 8 years old. Rail Sakanano Thomas was born in Toyama. And he left Japan again when he was around 6 or 7. I'll tell you what you should do, AJ. You need to download the Japan Cricket Podcast and have a listen. All the information's in there. Plenty of chats with these guys.
Nice plug there, Alan.
Thanks, mate. It's run by an excellent person. I forgot his name.
Yeah, so it goes by the name Kerr.
Oh, it's a wide one. He's chased, but got nothing on it. The other guys, Kento Otodobel, he was born in Japan. Off the top of my head, I forget where. And he left quite early on, again as a kid, and he's based in Melbourne now. And Declan Suzuki and Ryan Drake were both born in Australia and are based in Australia still. Alex Shillai Patmore was born in Japan, moved back to England when he was young, and then returned to Japan at the age of 21 and has lived here ever since, and he's been here 14 years now. The only player, of course, only men's player I should say, with an international 100.
Yep.
Sure that won't be the case for too much longer, we hope. Yeah, better bounce in the pitch today, isn't there, Tamwa? Just popping up a little.
Yes, the sun beating down on the Sano turf here is obviously allowing the pitch to settle in, to harden it.
Should be better to bat on as the day goes on, actually. So Indonesia might not mind batting
Yes.
second this time.
You're right.
Not quite the steamrollering in the power play that we saw yesterday. A bit more circumspect after the 2 early wickets fell.
That one did keep a bit low on that occasion, but Vinayar was able to negotiate that, clipping it to the leg side for a single.
Yeah, people do get hold of the names and what the perceived identity of players. And we've got someone like Marcus Thurgate, who's been part of the Japan team's led the under-19 team, and everyone looks at his name and says, well, he can't be Japanese. But yeah. Marcus was born in Japan, lived here his entire life.
Absolutely.
Japanese mum, Aussie dad. Try and tell him he's not Japanese, he wouldn't understand what you were talking about.
Nope.
We've had players, Meg Ogawa, for example. That is in the air, and that's shelled.
It has been shelled.
A life. Well, they've been good in the field so far this morning, Indonesia, and that was a very presentable chance.
Artawan there, the number 0, putting down the chance. Early life for Takahashi there. He's going to make the most of it. This is one of the last opportunities of this series that he's going to get. And of course, leading up to the qualifiers, the batsmen do want to give a good account of themselves.
Yeah, that's...
And put their hands up for selection.
It's the end of the over. 17 for 2 after 4. So, as I said, a bit more circumspect today. Of course, they were 68 for 1 after 6 yesterday. So, we'll see where they're at the end of the power play. Don't judge a power play until it's finished.
Of course, 2 early wickets have, of course, set them back a little bit. But the batters are still looking for every scoring opportunity that they can find.
There'll probably be a few nerves around as well. These guys, of course, certainly Vinay Iyer has been waiting such a long time for his international bow with the bat. He'll be wanting to make the most of it.
Yes, that catch yesterday would have given him a lot of confidence going into this game as well.
Yeah, nice to have contributed. I suppose that's Kendall Kadawaki-Fleming said the same thing after play yesterday. You know, captaining was a real honour, and he was just pleased to have contributed yesterday.
Yes,
you know,
precisely.
You spend that long waiting to play, you actually want to do something for the team and help towards a win.
A good pace there by Koda.
Ben Stinger's back. Of course he is. Hi, Ben. Good to have you with us. Ben's asking about Kazumasa Hiratsuka, which is a good question. He ruled himself out for this year. We are very hopeful that he'll be back in the Japan colours next season. He had to get into university, so had to do a lot of his studies. He got into the university he wanted to, studying to be a teacher, which is always encouraging when some of your best cricketers want to teach because they can go into schools and take cricket to those guys.
Absolutely.
Kazumasa Hiratsuka hit his first JCL Division 100 this year. Oh, that's a terrific shot.
Terrific shot by Iyer.
Vinay Iyer has creamed that through mid-off. His first boundary in international cricket. And he'll feel a lot better after that, after a little bit of a circumspect start.
Definitely. Charging down to meet the ball at a good length area, hitting it through cover, between cover and mid-off there. An excellent start to international cricket for Vinay Iyer there.
Yeah, Kazumasa, such a prospect. I've known Kazumasa since he was 10 years old. Came through the Cricket Blast program that we started up here back in 2014. Great to see him scoring his 100 and getting... Oh, it's chopped on.
Chopped it on.
And he's caught on the back foot. He's looked to run it down to third
Vinay
man.
Iyer there. The third wicket for Japan. 21 for 3. Suddenly Japan finds itself in the third game of this series. Not the start that they were hoping for. Koda there with his second.
Well, they're pleased to have him back, aren't they? He's a handy bowler.
Yes, he was surely missed yesterday in the second game because Indonesia's bowling looked a lot worse off with his absence there.
You sense he sets the tone, bit of the leader of the pack with the ball, and without him, perhaps they didn't have someone else to who was setting the standard for everyone else to try and aim for, and he's doing that again today.
Yes, absolutely. He seems like the leading figure of the bowling attack for sure, and leaving out somebody like his skill and stature seems to have hurt Indonesia quite a bit yesterday there. Japan scoring 179 in their 17 overs, even in a reduced fixture. And we're still waiting to have a look at the new batter in, who's a left-hander.
That looks like Alex Shilai Patmore to me.
Yes, Patmore it is.
So normally opening the batting, he's in the power play here.
Shilai Patmore coming back into the 11 after missing yesterday's fixture.
Yeah, couldn't get the day off work.
Yes,
one of the quirks of associate cricket. Alex Shilai Patmore was in our office building doing parent-teacher one-on-ones all day.
That's the nature of associate cricket there. People still have to juggle jobs and playing international cricket.
Yeah, it's not a problem that Joss Butler or Rishabh Pant have. The other wicket-keeper batters, they don't have to deal with parent-teacher meetings.
Definitely.
But yeah, experience replaces experience. Alex Shilai Patmore, as we were just saying, he's been playing cricket in Japan for 14 years, averaged 100 in the JCL last year, picked up the batter of the tournament in the Japan Premier League back in April, May as well.
Yes, he's had a terrific run with the bat the last couple of seasons there.
Yeah, a bit of a rebuild job on now, so he's a good man to have out there. Just need to settle things down. Looked about time.
Yes, it's still early doors into this game.
Yeah, 5 overs gone, 21 for 3, Japan. It's certainly not the start they would have hoped for, but certainly nothing to panic about. And it does, as we mentioned, give some other guys a chance to get some time in the middle. Both these two have made a few runs in the first game. Patmore batted pretty well for 25, I think he scored. But Yeah, they've got a chance to make a proper score here. And there's still plenty of batting to come, so I don't think the panic will be setting in just yet. Declan Suzuki, Makoto Taniyama, Shogo Kimura, of course, all still waiting to get the pads on.
Takahashi has
Well,
chosen to take the aerial route to the leg side.
last over of the power play, so calculated risk to go over the infield. Welcome boundary.
It's a
His
short
first.
arm pull shot there by Takahashi off the front foot. Not his favorite shot though, but he's definitely worked on playing that pull shot, strengthening his game on the leg side. He's an excellent player through the offside, through cover, and anything short and wide, he deals with it very efficiently.
Yeah, teammate of yours, of course, Tamoy. You've seen his development the last couple of years.
Definitely, it's been a very steady growth for Takahashi, and it's been a pleasure to watch him grow into the role that he's found himself playing in Japan for.
Yeah, one of the finds of the last couple of years, because this is his third year playing in the domestic leagues. He
Absolutely.
returned to Japan in 2019 and got involved in domestic cricket. Started off in the Chiba Sharks second 11,
Yes.
and suddenly, by the end of the following season, he was in the national squad. So,
Absolutely.
pretty rapid rise for him, but has shown what he can do. And he's still young as well, another 23, 24-year-old, I think.
Yes, he's got plenty of time to hone his skills with both bat and ball. He's also a live wire in the field.
Talking of Chiba Sharks, Paul Grant's jumped onto the comments box, just to remind us that the Year 7 are all tuning in from his school in Melbourne. Hi to you guys. How many in the class, PG? How many people are there? And are they staying for the whole game? Because cricket's a game that needs context. Got to watch both innings.
It's going to be a very exciting day in the school for the class.
So just like the first game, it's been a bit of a theme from the Indonesia bowlers. They're bowling the same 2 overs throughout the power play. They've both picked up wickets, of course, so understandable why they're keeping them on. But it does mean, from what we've seen so far, the backup bowlers haven't quite been of the same level. So get through this over, and I don't think Calder's going to bowl out. And perhaps see some spin. The leg spinner has been okay. Artawan, he's looked pretty handy.
Yes, Shirai Patmore being too eager to get onto the other end, sent back rightly by Takahashi.
Yeah, a bit of yes, no, maybe in there, but no harm done. Two balls left in the power play. 6-3 field. Looking to go through on the offside. Just fumbled, so single given. It's been pretty attacking stuff from Indonesia. They've really trying to cut off the scoring opportunities for these Japan players who haven't gone over the top too often. The openers tried it, both got out.
Yes, I think they've finally started to settle into the new surroundings that they find themselves in Japan here. Much warmer weather, which is much more suited to their style of game and their cricket, of course.
It may well just
coming
have been
from
they
the
were pretty
tropical
cold.
regions. Absolutely.
Yeah, the last 2 days, the afternoons were a bit miserable, a bit murky. Last ball of the power play.
Been excellently stopped, half stopped there by the short cover fielder, but Patmore having enough behind that ball to take it away for another single to finish off the power play overs.
7 from the over. 28 for 3 at the conclusion of the power play. So yeah, I don't think Japan will be thrilled at that. I'm sure Coach Bedingfield will be stalking around the team tent. But at the same time, 14 overs to go. 2 batters very capable of scoring big runs. And it's a good opportunity. Shirai Patmore, as we mentioned, a guy who's so used to opening the batting, he's in the side to play this middle order role in exactly these kind of circumstances. If a couple of wickets go down early, he can come and keep things ticking over in these middle overs. So a chance for him to show that he can do that. He did it very well in game 1.
Absolutely. Shirai Patmore is also the senior member here between the two of these batters out there. And he will be the one, even Takahashi will be looking for to settle down his nerves of playing international cricket. His first series of course, playing for Japan.
So let's see what they're doing in the field. Okay, we've got the left-hander on strikes. There's a sweeper on the offside. There is a
Third man.
long on, and there is a deep square leg. So only 3 out, Tamoy? Can you see
There's a
anyone
third
else?
man here.
There is a third man right in front of us.
Yep.
So 4 out. As those boundary fielders being out means there will be some more gaps for singles. Patmore, Patmore, one of the better players at guiding the ball around, finding gaps. He'll look to rotate the strike, and I guess Takahashi for now will probably look to be the more aggressive player and look for boundary options. But
Yes, with the field opening up a little bit, of course, the third man has now been moved in, and the mid wicket has been asked to go up to the boundary. So there are 3 fielders out into the boundary on the leg side.
it looks like there's no mid-off. There's sort of a wide mid-off, but if I'm Alex Patmore, I'm eyeing up that straight over the bowler's head region down towards the Japan tent. Let's just pushed it into the offside, and that'll be a single. Yeah, of course, we talked about this yesterday, Tamoy, but the loss of wickets isn't such a big deal in T20 cricket, is it? I mean, you can be 3 down in the power play, and it's not so damaging. Everyone bats deep, and it's a short game.
Exactly, and that's what you see with Japan. Like, they haven't really held back their batters. They're batting as normally as they would on any other situation, turning the strike over as often as they can, which has been a feature and a hallmark of their game throughout this series.
Yeah, really attacking, running between the wickets.
Yes, and it also gives them an opportunity to take a look into the other batters who haven't really got a hit out there in the middle. So the lower order can also get an eye in. Perfect opportunity for them to have a hit before the next East Asia Pacific qualifier starting next week.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Declan Suzuki batted at 4 in the first game. Didn't bat yesterday, and he hasn't come in yet today. Shogo Kimura will have the pads on, I'm sure. So it may well be. They're both left-handers, of course.
Yes,
one of those guys will come in next.
It looks like Kimura has been shadow practicing at the dugout as well from here. Of course, it's right at the other end of the ground here. Nicely driven.
Single there. So PG in Melbourne telling us they've got 23 students in their class. So hello to all 23, and they will stay with us for the whole game. I tell you what, sounds like a good class to be in, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I had to actually do schoolwork when I went to school. But in PG's class, just watch the cricket.
Me too.
It's a different kind of learning, isn't it?
Would have definitely liked
as
some
important
of that.
as any other kind.
More teachers like this, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot more chattering by the Indonesian fielders today.
Yeah, they were quite flat in the field yesterday, not helped by a few catches going down. But today there's a bit more energy about them. Perhaps it's the new uniforms.
Yeah, definitely. The bright yellow also bringing in the sunshine. Or was it the other way around?
Chris Thurgate's in the comments box. He's tuned in. Good to see you, Chris. Was out in the middle for the first 2 games, of course. Umpiring and played his role in helping out the umpires, helping these 2 guys get ready for their first international series as umpires. Adam and Rob out there today. .31 for 3 after 7 overs. Decent over that from Balnwak.
It's just
2 from
3.
the bat and one by. More people tuning in from all over the place. People from Nepal, from Pakistan. A few more people from Indonesia waking up to get in. Raj is watching the whole game from Ireland. Goodness, Raj. You will be tired tomorrow. Yeah, Danielson's back in.
Yes.
Now, we've enjoyed watching him, haven't we, Tamoy?
Yes, he's a pretty hit the deck kind of a bowler. Comes in and operates usually in the middle overs for Indonesia. Has done that for the last 2 games at least. And here again, he's back. Bowling up to Alex Shirai Patmore. Who has scooped it over the point fielder for a comfortable 2.
Tell you what, it makes such a difference to have the sun out, doesn't it?
Absolutely. What a great day to have cricket on in Japan. Perfect conditions for both teams, actually. And there's what looks like a very good T20 wicket out there.
Ooh, that was a bit of a floaty one.
Attempted slower delivery.
Looks like we are having some camera issues. So apologies for that. One of our cameras at the school end just having a bit of a malfunction. So you're on the roaming camera for now.
Shirai Patmore has not been able to time the ball as well as he would have liked so far.
Tokyo Wombats Cricket Club have joined us. Good to see him supporting their teammate, Alex Shirai Patmore, former captain of the Wombats, of course, been playing for them forever.
Yes, Wombats playing most of their home games down at the Fuji grounds.
They do, yeah. They're the lucky ones. They get to see the mountain in all its glory. We're regularly stealing photos from those guys to put on our own social media sites.
Absolutely. For those watching, they can definitely log on to the Japan Cricket website and have a look at all the grounds and facilities available in Japan and all over the place.
Looks like we're back to the normal camera. Hopefully that glitch has been ironed out.
Good sharp work by the fielders there. Yes, it's not a very long turnaround time for these two teams going into the East Asia Pacific qualifiers, and they'll be joined up by the Republic of Korea.
Yeah, there's aggression there from Takahashi. Not quite hit the gap, so just a single as he puts that one out to deep mid-wicket. And again, Tamoy, we talked about this a lot yesterday. Just looking at these fielders, they're all about 10 yards in from the boundary rope. And we did see catches going over their heads and dropping away for 4 yesterday. But at least twice, maybe even 3 times yesterday. So
They did.
Perhaps they're not used to fields this size.
It does seem a little odd. I think one of the strategies is for Captain Gamantika to have the fielders a little in just to avoid or cut off the 2 running options for Takahashi and Shirai Patmore, who have been very eager to rotate the strike, as has been the case with most of the Japan's batters throughout the series. And I'm not sure whether that's going to be very beneficial for them.
Where do you stand on that? My thoughts would be, if you attack the ball well enough and they want to take you on for 2 and they get it, fair play to them, but you're in the game for a run-out chance, and I'd rather be taking the catch.
Yes,
you're looking down at this guy at square. He's moving back a bit now, but he's just in
like
nowhere,
about
isn't
20 yards in.
Yeah, he's in a real funny position. Just watch as Takahashi hits the ball straight to him now, but fingers crossed that doesn't happen. From a Japan perspective, there we go. He's gone over the top on the offside, carved out of the way. That will go to the boundary. So
one bounce into the fence for Takahashi, who also who really likes that extra cover region, peppers the boundary quite often in the domestic cricket as well.
Good start to the 9th over. cry of Doskoi coming from the Japan tent, which we heard plenty of yesterday. That's every time there's a boundary, you'll hear a "se no Doskoi," which is a cry that the Japan team put out on the boundary, and that's Doskoi Doskoi on a 6. Comes from sumo wrestling, which the Japan cricket team have borrowed.
Little misfield there allows Takahashi to scamper for a single there. Yes, it's nice to absorb the different nomenclatures and the different shouts and encouraging words coming off in different languages, especially in Japan, for instance.
Yeah, you get a real mix, don't you? It's terrific. I love, again, Alex Shulai Patmore's been on the podcast, and he talked about some of his favourite Japanese cricket terms that have been Japanized.
Oh, yeah. We'd love to hear more about those.
And if you keep your ears out, the mic should pick up some of them. Probably a bit more when Japan's in the field. So these guys just looking to rebuild. Takahashi and Shulai Patmore. Takahashi's on to 16.
Oh, that's missed everything.
Fielder's going to cut it off. They'll run 2, but there is a signal coming. So I wonder if this is wise or leg buys. Oh, just buys in the end.
Buys.
Really did miss everything.
Didn't miss the stumps by much, I must say, over there. Lucky for Takahashi.
Heart in mouth, I suspect. So just looking at the field, there's on the offside you've got a long off. But no one else. Oh no, sweeper's gone back. Deep cover. No one behind square on the offside, so. Oh, Takahashi's looking to take the guys on. Single to long off.
Yes, Takahashi is not much of he's not the 6 hitter as you would have associated Kadowaki Fleming from yesterday. He's very happy to hit the ball along the ground as well, and likes to pick the gaps through the offside on most occasions.
Patmore much more of a touch player, just looking to run that down to third man. That's the shot that did for Vinay Iyer, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It's difficult to judge the bounce on these kind of wickets, isn't it?
Well, it is. And again, we don't play a lot on turf in Japan, so even Vinay, who plays so much cricket, plays probably more cricket than anyone in Japan, it's unusual for him to be batting on the turf, so you've got to get that judgment right, and that's why playing these games has been so important in the lead up to the big event next week.
Absolutely.
This week, the end of this week it starts.
Absolutely.
I have to change into my sunglasses, Tamoy. Looking out there into the glare, give me a headache. Pushed into the offside. Runs again for Takahashi. They're looking for 2 this time. And they'll make it back.
Comfortably make it.
There might be extras there if they hadn't run through the crease.
Yes, excellent facilities out here in Sano, isn't there, Alan? A lot of turf wickets lined up next to the synthetic surface.
Yeah, 9 strips on ground 1 and
strips.
7 on ground 2. So
Absolutely.
only brought up for the special occasions, of which this is obviously one. The big tournaments, the Japan Premier League, the Futures League, the Japan Cup finals will have them, and domestic finals. That's a good shot. That's run away behind square. Fielder will just not pull it up.
Yes.
Boundary signalled.
The ball did roll up quite easily over there on the other side of the wicket of the ground there. Seems like the outfield has dried up quite a bit from the past 2 days.
Yeah, it does look a bit quicker, doesn't it?
Yes.
Generally at this ground there's patches, and if you hit the patch where it's a bit more spongy, it might just die on its way to the rope. But on a day like today, that hopefully won't be too much of a problem.
Yes, excellent day right here for watching cricket. Of course, it's on a Tuesday, which is a working day, and a shame for not a lot of people to be able to make it to the ground due to their work schedules and so on. But we still have very proud parents watching on, encouraging their wards, encouraging their kids.
Yeah, nearly 300 on the stream at the moment, which is great. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to those watching on the Fan Code app in India as well, of course. Plenty of guys and girls watching from there. Good to have you with us. 50's up for Japan in the 10th over. So we are looking at a bit of a similar effort to the first game, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Early wickets, bit of a rebuild, 50 odd after 10. They ended up making 140 in that first game, and I suspect they'll be recalculating with the goal to do something like that again. Of course, some hitters to come.
I think the next 5 overs are going to be extremely crucial. About if Japan does manage to keep a lot of their wickets intact, they would have laid the perfect platform to go after the bowling in the last 5 overs.
Yeah, playing the miss from Shilai Patmore, looking to go after that square of the wicket, but just sneaked past him. Danielson Hawaii.
Yes, Indonesia, they're trusting their bowlers and giving much longer spells of 2 overs and 3 overs.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. The leg spinner hasn't bowled yet, and he's going to end up bowling to the left-handers. That's a wide. And I would be very interested to see if the left-hander gets the ball to Shogo Kimura.
Absolutely.
Because spinning it into his arc, that might be... Well, it could go either way, couldn't it, I suppose?
Absolutely. It's going to be a very difficult matchup. It's going to be an exciting contest to watch.
That's a good shot. It's stepped across and flicked that into the leg side. Just a single. Shilai Patmore's perhaps a little bogged down. Drinks are coming on at the 10 over mark. It's 53 for 3.
Yes, that's compared to the 54 for 4 we had on the first day after the 10 over mark for Japan.
Warmer day today, so they're having the drinks break. We're going to have one ourselves. We'll rejoin you when the action recommences. All right, we're back. Change of bowler. Looks like Calder's going to bowl out. He's only got one over left. Decided they want to break this partnership. It is just gathering a little bit of momentum. Takahashi and Shirai Patmore.
Yeah, it's one of those risks that can go either way, doesn't it? Koda, if he manages to get a wicket here, is going to be a masterstroke for the captain. But Japan looking to continue the flow of runs. They are very keen on rotating the strike over. Shirai Patmore sneaking a very quick single there.
So this partnership's up to 32 at about a run a ball. Takahashi's been the one doing most of the work. He's 24 not out. Shirai Patmore's 8 or 15, so he hasn't really got going yet.
Yes, he hasn't found the middle of the bat yet as he would have liked, but now that he has spent a little more time out in the middle, definitely he's going to cash in.
Definitely, that confidence. Takahashi puts that into the offside, just another single. Good intent though. He's going about his business quite nicely, isn't he, Ibi Takahashi? Like I say, he's up to 25 now to run a ball.
He's a busy
setting
cricketer.
a platform for himself to go hard in these last 10 overs.
Yeah, he's a busy cricketer, Takahashi. He likes to stay involved in the game, which is why you will see him often opening the batting or batting in the top three and then taking the new ball as well.
We are regularly getting asked in the comments who's going to win, Tamoy. I don't get sucked into that because I just make myself look stupid every time. And the attempted switch hit, big appeal, not given. Alex Shirai Patmore looking to change things up. I reckon that's just drifting down leg side from looking at the replay.
Yes, umpire Rob Newman not really interested in that. Perhaps struck outside the line.
Keanu's joined us again. Good to have you back with us, Keanu. And that is just, well, Alex Shirai Patmore, yeah, you can see he's starting to get a bit annoyed. He wants to get going, showing a bit of aggression, and well, that was actually Ibi Takahashi, wasn't it? Just didn't quite get hold of that.
That was Shirai Patmore.
Sorry, it was Shirai Patmore, the left-hander. They didn't take a single.
A little bit of frustration shown by the Indonesian fielders also because the point fielder didn't probably run in to take that catch. Maybe a dive there could have increased their chances of another wicket.
Struck
him again on the pads, but umpire not interested.
Bit of a woody sound there. Let's see if he signals anything. No, given out his runs. Interesting field placings. We've almost got two people behind each other, Shirai Patmore, and it looks like it's going to stay that way. You've got a wide mid-off and a long-off. He's moving towards extra cover now.
Yes, the fine leg has been crossed over.
Leg byes have been signalled, so that was given as a leg bye in the end.
So Koda is bowling without a fine leg at the moment. It's going to be interesting. He wouldn't want to stray down the leg side on this occasion. Struck well, but struck straight to the fielder at mid-wicket.
Well, Shirai Patmore's playing a role here. I mean, he's 8 off 18, so he is struggling. He is the kind of player who can make that up if he can get a few away, but it's one of those difficult innings, isn't it? Now that he's played this part, if he gets out now, then it is a waste of time.
Absolutely.
But if he can up the scoring rate and make it back, then he has laid himself a foundation and just help steady the ship after those early wickets.
It is one of those innings, isn't it, where one struggles for timing and don't find the middle of the bat enough, and it becomes a frustrating stay because at the same time that the batsman is looking to score, looking for scoring opportunities, they're also looking at the scoring rate and changing the strike over or having perhaps a batsman who can be timing the ball better and getting many more balls to face on this occasion.
One thing I will say, of course, Alex Shire-Patmore's so experienced, he won't be panicking, he won't be flustered by what's going on. He's shown a little bit of frustration in that last over, but he'll have a word with himself, I'm sure, and we'll look to catch it. Now the spinner's coming on, so the leg spinner Artawan, who's bowled pretty well throughout this series. Number 0 on his back, which we've discussed a little bit over the last couple of days.
This is also the first time we're seeing spin into the attack today. It's rather late in the innings.
It does seem to be the tactic Indonesia go for, isn't it? They bring the spinners on late, so let's see what he can do today. Straight away, Takahashi's tried to go after him.
Pitched way outside the leg stump.
Yeah, not much turn. It's just thudded into his pad as he tried to clear the front leg. So instant aggression though, looking for the boundaries. There's a deep square leg, but no one else behind the wicket. So the sweep shot is on. Goes straight that time, straight to the fielder at mid-on. Looking at the field for the leg spinner, like we said, we've got a deep square leg, got a deep mid-wicket and a long on. All on the leg side. There's a short mid-wicket in as well.
Yes,
there's a long off and a sweeper on the offside too. So those are the 5 fielders outside the circle. And then 3 inside the circle on the offside.
Decides to jump down the track a little too soon this time, allowing the bowler to shorten his length and get another dot ball in. The pressure is mounting a little bit for Takahashi because he's looking a little more impatient for runs there.
Yeah, they want to capitalise on the spinner, I think. Oof.
This has been an excellent over by Artawan.
Yeah, well, we mentioned it before. Like, why does he come on so late? Coming on in the 12th over. I mean, I'd have this guy on after the power play. He looks a decent bowler to me.
Absolutely, a very, very nice, easy approach to the crease and a very clean action.
He's reasonably accurate. Oh,
it's a huge appeal.
Huge, and he's walking.
Looks like Ibi Takahashi has edged it.
Oh no, keeper did give him. Sorry, the umpire did give it out. So Takahashi has to go. That was coming, wasn't it? 4 dots and then the wicket. So.
Yes, the pressure was mounting on Takahashi to get the run rate up because the runs were drying up from the other end as well. And suddenly, Japan are 4 wickets down, but they do have a new batter coming in, which might...
It looks like Shogo to me. I'll have to wait for him to get a bit closer to be able to tell. From where I'm sat, I'd say that's Shogo Kimura. But yes, just looking around how this innings has gone, Takahashi was slightly more the aggressor, I suppose. Now we've really got to get going because with 8 overs remaining, Japan's still battling a little.
And for the first time, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have 2 left-handers batting together.
Certainly the first time in this game. Not entirely sure if it's happened in the previous games. Might have done at some point. Don't know. But yeah, 2 lefties in together, facing the leg spinner. So that will make it interesting.
Yes, 2 left-handers and could not be any different than they are.
Yeah, totally contrasting. The former baseballer, Shogo Kimura, who will look to go big. I'm sure he'll take his time. He'll probably play out this over. It's going to every chance that Artawan bowls a wicket maiden here. Shogo will probably want to take a look at one before he starts going too hard. Oh, he's driven that pretty well into the offside. So they grab a single. But it's an excellent over from Artawan. He looks a very handy bowler. 58 for 4 after 12 overs. In Japan, they're going to need to bat well, but they do have plenty of aggressive batters to come. So these last 8 overs, they're going to want to get themselves around up to, I don't know, what do you think, Tamoy? 120, 130 is a minimum, really?
I think so. I'm pretty sure they're going to be looking at something between the range of 6 and 7 runs and over, giving themselves, their bowlers, enough of a window to be bowling into and not allow the Indonesian batsmen to have a much more comfortable time out there as compared to the last 2 games.
Yeah, just looking at the teams, the bowlers likely to be Suzuki, Takahashi, Taniyama, Otodobel, Kumbare and Drake. So a mix of seam and spin there. Japan are going to have to bowl well, I think. given the way things are and given the improvement in the Indonesian batting yesterday.
Yes, Kimura is lining up for the 13th over of the game. And he's played and missed the first one. Of course, there's a change in the bowling, of course. Koda having bowled out the previous on the previous over.
Yeah, so Balnoek is back on into his third over. Koda is done for the day. Driven, so they want to make sure they don't drop short, the Indonesian bowlers, to Shogo Kimura. Get him driving is probably your best chance to contain him. Anything in the wrong half of the pitch is likely to go, because they have a deep mid-wicket and a deep square leg, deep backward square leg, I guess. Anything short's going to bring those guys into the game.
I think the Indonesian bowlers have put on a much better show today. They've generally corrected their lengths a lot. They've bowled a lot fuller today as compared to being a lot up and down the last two games. They've been a lot more consistent with their channels and their lengths.
Yeah, they've asked some different questions this time, and they've been better in the field, certainly, than yesterday. Kimura's got that one away, so Shilai Patmore back on strike. And I suspect Alex Shilai Patmore will be very keen to get his innings up and running now. He's faced 18 balls for just his 8 runs. Perhaps looking for some invention. There we go, switch hit into the offside.
Just the one.
Plenty of fielders there, so I think he needed to get that a lot finer if it was going to be effective.
Yes, Shilai Patmore has been looking for that scoring opportunity for a while now. The switch hit.
I mean, this is the thing, is that we've got to make sure, from a Japan point of view, that they get some runs, get the singles. If they're not scoring the boundaries, you've got to keep getting the runs in 1s and 2s. Keep the scoreboard going. Kimura goes aerial. I reckon that's going to fall safe. Or has he caught it?
Acrobatic attempt there.
I thought he had it. He threw himself at it.
Fingertips.
He got hands to it, but it just didn't stick. To be fair, he may well have lost it as he hit the ground. Difficult, very difficult chance, but a terrific effort.
Yes, a much improved effort by Indonesia on the field in general today.
Now these two, they had a bit of a debate over who got toward the number 66. I think, I'm not entirely sure what Shogo's claim to the number is. Alex Patmore, Shilai Patmore, used to play with Joe Root when he was a kid. And so he wanted that number as tribute to Joe Root. And he's also capped number 66 for Japan. So he wanted that on the back of his shirt. Shogo, I think, managed to win the battle somehow. So for now, he has it.
And as you mentioned yesterday, Patmore has been wearing his jersey, the same jersey that he had been wearing all those years ago.
It's the number he wore when he first came into the side over a decade ago. So the leg spinner's back on. Artwan will continue. There we go. In the arc of Shogo Kimura. He's gone after that. Hasn't quite middled it. And they'll come back for 2 out into the leg side. But this is the contest that we were looking for, weren't we, Tamoy? Anything short by the leg spinner. It's interesting, the leg spinner's coming over the wicket still to the left-hander. Hasn't changed his angle. Maybe having a think about it now.
Yes, I think good call there, Alan. He's just switched over to bowling round the wicket now.
I actually think this might work more in Shogo's favour. I think he was doing the right thing, coming over the wicket to try and cramp them for space.
I think the only thing that the leg spinner might be trying to do is bowl a lot wider now.
Wider, yeah. Yeah, stop him going leg side. That's what he's done. He's tossed that one out wide. Patmore, of course, will take a different approach. If you bowl out wide to him, he may well look to reverse behind the keeper. So
yes, he does have that shot in his armour. But yeah, the leg spinner has decided to come over the wicket to Patmore on this occasion.
Yes, interesting. So different challenges to different batsmen. It's got the bowlers and the captain's got to keep thinking, which is good. Testing them out a little bit.
Absolutely. And the sweeper cover there has been moved up like about 20 yards from the
he's
boundary
halfway
rope.
between the circle and the boundary. It's a really odd position he's in. I guess we need to cut off the 2, but
He's been bowled him round his legs.
Yeah, it's been a tough day for Alex Shilai Patmore. He's come across the stumps to try and go behind square on the leg side. It's just turned enough to do for him, and it's been a bit of a painful stay, really, 9 off 20. But in the end, that means someone else will come in and someone else will try and get going.
Yes, not too many overs for Japan there to get their scoring rate up and have a competitive total on the board.
Yeah, Japan are
Arthawan with a second wicket.
in a bit more of a spot of bother now. Where the team doesn't bat as deeply as they have done in the first 2 days.
Yes, they're missing some of the names like Navratna and Ravichandran from today's 11.
Yeah, and the guys left out. Even Rail Sakalano Thomas is an excellent batter to be coming in at sort of 8 or 9. But today, down to number 7, Declan Suzuki is coming in, I presume. Looks like him. I suspect Taniyama will come in next at 8. And then you're very much into the tail.
Yes, another left combination once more.
Declan Suzuki's a very capable batter as well. Batted at number 4 in the first game, so considered good enough to bat that high. So
took a blinder of a catch yesterday, didn't he?
Did, right down in front of us, in front of the sight screen. I think the sight screen just got in the way a little bit of getting the full glory of that catch. But off the ground, both feet.
Yes,
full stretch to his left
after running and covering a lot of ground.
Now, the fall of that wicket does make things interesting because Shogo Kimura will be out there to hit and to take risks. Now, Declan Suzuki's quick, so he'll make it back for a second easily there. That's wides.
3 wides there.
3 wides. So, yeah, for Kimura, will that fall of the Patmore wicket, will that mean he goes into his shell a little bit? Will he stop playing the natural game that he's been sent out there to do?
I think Japan can't afford to have their batters go into a shell anymore because approaching the last 5 overs of the contest, they're going to be looking at every scoring opportunity that they can find to maximize the runs that they get on the board. They want to be finishing on a high after having very, very good outings in the first 2 games, aren't they?
Definitely. I think there was, from my understanding, talk of guarding against complacency. When you're 2-0 up in the series, you want to make it a clean sweep. You've got to keep your energy and you've got to keep your focus. And it'll be interesting to see if that's something that's discussed today, given the way the innings has gone. But as I always say, you can't judge a score until both teams have batted. So we'll see what happens.
And absolutely, I also think that Japan did need a wake-up call as well because they've had 2 very comfortable outings in the middle in the first 2 games and a little more of a challenge this time.
Yeah, they'll have to bowl well. That's the shot Kimura likes to play. Didn't quite get hold of it, so just 1 that time.
Declan Suzuki is eyeing that vacant leg side behind square spot. There's no short, fine leg there.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. He's coming around the wicket, the leg spin, and there's no one behind square on the leg side. Still hitting predominantly in front of square. That one's gone out to long on.
Another excellent over for Arthawan.
Yeah, a few more runs coming from that one. 9 from it. So an improvement of sorts, but of course the fall of the wicket. 70 for 5 after 14. So these last 6 overs going to be important for both teams. I think this is where the game could well be defined, couldn't it, Tamoy?
Definitely. The next 6 overs, I think, if Japan can get about 10 and over from here on, they're looking at a very, very
competitive target.
Competitive total, yes.
I think we saw Indonesia make 104 from their 17, so you wouldn't bet against them chasing a 120, 130. Japan don't have Rail Sakalano Thomas in the lineup today.
Absolutely.
Don't have Sabaradish Ravichandran to bowl his leg spin.
Quick single snatched away from the hands of the fielder there.
It is good to see a Japan side that really runs hard between the wickets and puts pressure on the fielders. I know that trying to cultivate things that Japan are known for as a team is a big part of what the coaching staff are trying to do, get the Japan way. What are we known for as a team? I think ultimately we want to be a team that's known for running hard, catching well, fielding well, stealing singles, not giving anything away. So there we go, Kimura. That's what he's in the side to do, but he's hit it straight down the throat of Long On. And it's a short stay for Shogo Kimura, 7 off 10.
Yeah, Kimura didn't get hold of that one there. He really wanted to give it the kitchen sink, but Long On holds on to a very good catch there.
Well, that's the long boundary he's doing for him, really, isn't it? On a normal Japan Cricket League day, he'd be getting 6 for that.
Yes, didn't come off the middle of the bat, to be honest.
Didn't. Went high and straight to the guy. He didn't have to move.
Yes,
to
and
check
from
who that
the
fielder
look
was.
of it,
That's Tadaris with the catch.
yes, Makoto Taniyama has walked into the middle, switching the left, breaking that left and left combination and back into a very regular left and right combination as we have become accustomed to from Japan. Taniyama also known to bat in the top order for his club.
Yeah, well, Taniyama was opening the batting last time Japan played in a major international tournament, World Cup qualifier in the Philippines in 2018. Been short of runs this season, and I think he's got 5.5 overs to bat here, Tani. If he can go and put 20 odd runs to his name, it would do the world of good for his confidence.
That was a sharp
pushing
single
hard there.
taken once more.
He's off the mark. Tokyo Wombat still joining in the chat. There's been many questions asked of who will win, which is, I suppose it's a 50-50 call, right?
Absolutely.
Tokyo Wombats are backing Japan, which of course they would do. Declan Suzuki's ticking over a run of ball. I think he's scored off every ball he's faced. Gets a couple there. Number 22 and number 23 out in the middle right now.
Just be diplomatic and repeat after Ravi Shastri's famous words, all 3 results are possible
All
at this
3
stage.
results are possible. I'm not sure they are, mate, because we'll go to a super over.
Yes, of course. I mean,
So
conventional time.
Apparently they've changed the rules now that if you have a tie in a super over, you just play another super over.
Yes.
So we could be here all day.
I think, I don't know at what stage do keep having the ties for the super over.
I guess once night falls, we don't have any lights here.
Yes, it's one of those tennis analogies again to say how they have
Come back
done
the next
away
day.
with the final set going on forever.
Yeah, I'm a bit sad about that. I quite like those. So much jeopardy. Isner and Mahout.
Yes.
When was it? 68, 66,
70,
70,
68 into the...
I mean, can you imagine the mental fortitude of serving to stay in the match?
And having
60
the game
times
go on
or
for
30 times or something. It's mad.
having the game go on for 3 days,
3
roughly
days.
13 hours.
Yeah, it was no surprise that John Isner lost the next match, was it? I think everyone's watching it going, whoever wins this is going to lose in the next round anyway.
They already played about 3 games in that one single game.
Have they done it away in all of the slams?
I think so. By now they have,
Wimbledon have done it as well?
Yes.
Because they did limit it to 12, which I didn't mind.
which was fine.
I thought that was okay.
12 all, which also having the first, the 2019 Wimbledon final also going into that, which was also on the same day the 50 over World Cup was going on.
Yes, it was.
The final.
Yes, it was. Big day of sport. Big day in London. Artuan started with a wide. Rare loose ball from the leg spinner. AZ info point has been allowed back into the comms. I put him on mute for 300 seconds because the only question he asks is who will win. He's asked it again. AZ, you're going to go back in the box in a moment. Think of something else to say. No, he's asked it again. That's it. AZ, you're out.
Scooped it up in the air. Mid-on has held on to it. Another wicket down here. Suzuki this time walking back.
Yeah, he was going okay, Declan Suzuki. He was runs of every ball he was facing, but looking for that boundary option and didn't get hold of it at all.
And rightly well celebrated by Indonesia, holding on to their catches this time.
Yeah, we've seen two go down. One was really difficult. One was
Of
fairly
course.
straightforward,
Of
but
course.
they've been much better in the field today, much more energetic. The new yellow uniforms have obviously perked them up.
Yes,
But now,
the Japan batters have struggled with their timing all through this game, haven't they?
and I'm not sure it has anything to do with the pitch. I mean,
It seems like the pitch has played as well as it has the last 3 days as well. How?
Hawaii with the catch that time. He's been in the game, hasn't he?
Yes, coming back to the pitch, I think it has played as well as it has the last 2 days, hasn't it? I think it's also credit to the Indonesian bowlers who have stuck to good lengths, better lengths, a lot more consistent with their bowling.
Study Studio reckons this match is 100% fixed. Goodbye, Study Studio. It was great having you in the commentary chat, but comments like that are just idiotic. So goodbye. It's in the air
And,
and
taken
caught
once more.
again. So
Very well taken.
another wicket down. Piyush Kumbhare was sent out to hit, I think, ahead of Kento Otodobel, who might bat a bit more within himself.
Japan suddenly find themselves.
In a spot of bother. We might struggling to bat out the overs here. The catcher was Priyandana. Held on, kept himself inside the rope.
Yes, excellent catching there by Indonesia once again in the deep. And Japan in a bit of a bother this time, finally having to deal with the loss of quick wickets from both ends.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was the most sensible piece of batting from Piyush Kumbhare. We've still got
Yeah, it was the first ball.
4.5 overs to go, and
Yes, the lower order hasn't really allowed itself to settle in.
yeah, to go for
whatsoever.
a big shot that early. I mean, the first rule is you bat your overs. You don't want to throw away the chance to get runs. I think that's Kento Otodobel who's come out next.
Absolutely. I think the coach's signs and the signals for batting time and, of course, rotating the strike has somewhat been lost in this frenetic end to the innings somewhat.
Artawan's having a great day, 4 for 11 so far. It's aggression again, but just a single.
Yes, makes our
Taniyama.
job a little more difficult to pick the player of the tournament.
Yeah, Artawan's definitely giving himself making a case for himself, isn't he? He's certainly been their best bowler. Well, he's been the best bowler today. Him and Kodda have been the standout bowlers for them.
Absolutely.
He's still got an over left, 4 for 12. Once again, imagine what he could have done if he'd come on earlier.
Leg spinner has been shining once again in T20 cricket, continuing with the tradition.
Paul Grant doesn't want this game to finish early. It means he might have to teach.
Hope you're ready with some sort of content for the day.
Well, Makoto Taniyama is still there. Plenty of experience in international cricket for him. I think must be his 40th match or something like that. So 4 overs to bat. Kento Otodobel is perfectly capable. He's been part of a crucial partnership on this ground in the World Cup qualifiers for the under-19 team against Vanuatu. Oh,
He has hit it straight to the bowler.
Taniyama's hit it straight back to the bowler. Sharp catch. And they've been on it today.
And Japan are in a very difficult position and are looking like they're going to be bowled out here before the completion of their overs.
Yep, Ryan Drake on debut will come in. Not known for his batting. If I'm honest, I've never actually seen him bat.
I
So,
don't think he's had very many opportunities to
Yeah,
be
he's-
batting in domestic cricket either.
He's generally a number 11.
Proud parents, of course, watching on.
Yep. Both his parents are here. Pleased to see him getting a game after he was just precautionary left out of the first 2 games. He was nursing a bit of a hamstring strain, so they wanted to make sure he wasn't overdoing it.
Also turned 20 on the day of the first
He did.
game.
Yeah, now an adult in Japan. He's going to face up to his first ball from Danielson Hawaii. 78 for 9, Japan. And really, these two, you've got to bat the overs. Take whatever runs are on offer. Clipped into the leg side. He's off the mark.
Yes, he seems to be running a little gingerly onto the other end of the field there, Drake. Of course, 2 brand new batters in the crease at the moment.
Oh, easy. All right, you're out. And that's on to the stumps. Run out chance. Oh,
And he is
goodness
gone.
me.
Absolute chaos out in the
Could have
middle.
been run out at the non-striker's end. Kento Waterdale was too far down the track. Thrower comes back and he's run out himself. So a really meek and disappointing end to the Japan innings. All out for 79. And Indonesia will be absolutely over the moon with that. It's taken just 16.3 overs.
Yes, the cardinal sin of not playing out here full overs. 3.5 overs there still remaining.
That is, 22 balls they've left behind.
Even batting run a ball there would have got them into 3 figures there. For Japan, a much improved performance for Indonesia must be pointed out. They've had a much better time with the ball this time in hand and in the field.
Yep, the roll is on. We'll be back in around 15 minutes for the second innings to see if Indonesia can chase 80 to win the game and earn their first ever T20 international victory. Japan have got their work cut out with the ball. We'll be back before too long. Okay, players are returning to the middle for the final act of this T20 International Bilateral Series between Japan and Indonesia. Alan Kerr from the JCA in the commentary box alongside Tanmoy Mukherjee. Tanmoy, Japan all out for 78. What did you make of that performance with the bat from Japan?
Yes, a very uncanny performance from the Japan team there, losing 7 wickets for
79,
20.
sorry. I'm all out for 79.
Yeah, they lost 7 wickets for 22 there in 4.4 overs. What do you make of that, Alan?
Well, it's not ideal, is it?
No, of course not ideal. I think a little bit of frustration growing in the middle during those middle overs when Shirai Patmore and Takahashi were batting together, and that opening over from Artawan, the leg spinner, really did for them, didn't they?
Well, Ryan Drake has a new ball in his hand.
The
He's
debutant.
on debut. And his first ball's been squirted out to the offside boundary. It'll be cut off. And they will only get 1 in the end.
Was it 2?
The batters wanted 2, but feeling they only got 1.
Yeah.
No, they did take 2. Says they did take
Yeah,
2. I think there was 3 there, wasn't there?
They were looking for a third, I think.
They could have had 3 there. So Ryan Drake in for his pace, but the opening batters are using that pace to their advantage, and that one's cut away behind point for 4. So it's a fast start by the Indonesia openers. Priyandana
Yes.
was the star yesterday, 45-0 out, picking up where he left off.
Absolutely, he had a much better outing yesterday in the middle. Did not get out, carried the bat through the innings, and he looks to be carrying on in the same vein. Obviously has the advantage of not too many runs to chase after, so he can take his time in the middle, but he has chosen to express himself a little more.
Yeah, you get a quick 20 or 30 on the board, you can break the back of the chase pretty quickly. And that's going to be wide. So that's pressure put back on the bowler and showing in that delivery.
Drake there banging it in short into the pitch, getting whatever little bounce there is to be extracted out. But yes, coming back to Japan's batting, it just the second half of the game really changed the course, didn't it?
Yeah, it really fell apart once the leg spinner came on, which definitely a disappointment. And Ryan Drake's just losing his line here.
Yes, Takahashi's wicket there in Artawan's opening over, which cost just 1 run.
Yeah, Ibi Takahashi was going okay. He had 26. He was going to run a ball at the start of that over, 26 or 26, and then faced 4 dot balls, and then eventually just played a rough shot, trying to play a release shot, trying to make up for lost time in the over. And yeah, as you mentioned off air, he was the pressure had been building because Alex Shirai Patmore was struggling at the other end as well.
Yeah.
But and that is hit
sweetly
firmly
struck.
straight back over the bowler's head. It'll be
Beautiful
1
shot.
bounce and 4. No, that's 6.
And that's 6. That's cleared the
It's
ropes.
gone all the way. The Indonesians are up and about. They've really turned up today, and it'll be a rude awakening for the Japan team, who dominated the first 2 games, really.
Yes.
But at the moment, everything is going for the Indonesia team. They look very much in control. 14 runs on the board already. And just 3 balls gone. They're only chasing 78, 79, 80 to win.
In fact, we had a completely different outlook to the game, didn't we, Alan? When we were discussing just before the going on air about what their approach was going to be. Oh, that's well over the waist high. The bowler will be warned about that delivery.
Well, technically, you don't have to warn them anymore. If it's a fast bowler and it's considered dangerous, you can take him out of the attack.
Yes, another free hit
So the free hit is
opportunity.
signalled.
Be
Ibi
interesting.
Takahashi, Kendall Kadawaki Fleming, and now Makoto Taniyama. They're all getting around the bowler, just trying to settle him down. They'll be nervous on debut. Bowling on a free hit now. And that's high in the air. That's going to run
nicely
away for
struck.
4, I suspect. This is a nightmare first over.
Yes, a rough initiation to international cricket for Ryan Drake there in the opening over. of his international career.
Still got 2 balls to go. Just got to get out of this over now.
Yes, he has good pace coming in, and he's a tall bloke, but the batter is equally up to the task on this occasion. The change in weather, the rising sun, also bringing a change of fortune for the Indonesian team here, Alan.
Absolutely. Much happier in the warmer conditions, aren't they? It's positively balmy today. My legs are getting cooked in the sun under this table.
Absolutely, and a positive change of jersey goes well with the red pads, doesn't it? The yellow kit.
Yeah, they look good, I reckon. Well, he has managed to get out the over. There's a chance for a run out. Safe.
A little bit of hesitance there by the batters while crossing over.
Yeah, there's a few guys in the comments. I am moderating the YouTube comments whilst I'm here, and some idiots saying that 100% fixing match. This game's fixed. I'm just going to delete you from the comments and ban you from the chat. So, show a bit of respect, please. Now then, Japan have just got to put that over behind them, haven't they? They've given Indonesia a 20-run start. So, what can the rest of the guys do?
Not too many runs to defend for Japan there anymore. Takahashi with the second over, looks like. Captain Kendall Kadawaki Fleming having a long conversation about field placements.
Well, with that start, we mentioned, didn't we, the opportunity to go hard, someone to go big in the first 2 overs, 3 overs, try and get as many runs as they can to really break the back of the chase. They've done that. Now they really can settle down. The required rate is just 3 and over.
Absolutely.
They can take their time and cruise along to this. I mean, they still have 5 overs of the power play left, so any risks they can take can be calculated. Looks like Takahashi's got a long on and a deep square leg.
Such a contrast to the last 2 games, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
From where we had Indonesia looking at impossible asking rates of about 30 and 70 the last 2 games, and now they're looking at a run rate of about 3.
Takahashi looking to try and just build some pressure. I mean, you can build pressure with dot balls. We've seen players get bogged down, so Japan will be desperate to fight as much as they can for this game. Every ball, don't let it go. But Indonesia very much in the box seat now.
Yes, I think the only chance for Japan realistically here is to run through this batting order, and for Indonesia to suffer a collapse similar to what Japan did earlier in the day.
Well, exactly. It was the spinner who did the damage. We've got the spinner on now. May well just be that this pitch is more suited to the slower bowlers. Squirted into the offside. They'll get through for a single. There was a shout of catch, but nowhere within range of the fielder.
Yes, the leg spinner Artawan for Indonesia there with 4 wickets for 12, putting him in the driver's seat as the leading wicket taker of the 3-match series, Alan.
I believe so, yeah. Have to pull up the stats a bit later, but he's overtaken Rail Sakulano Thomas.
Of course,
who's rested today.
Yes, no more action for Reo Sakurano Thomas in this series, which means that he will be staying on his 6-wicket haul, the 5 wickets from the first and the 1 in the second. Handsomely struck there.
That's going to be 4 runs. Well, these guys have got the bit between their teeth today. It's Tadaris with the boundary, opening his account after Priyandana took 18 from his first over. Tadaris is now joining him in striking boundaries. Please forgive the feedback from the microphone if you get that. Kento Otodobel is going to come on at the mountain end. Just the one over for Ryan Drake, and going to be a bit of a conundrum. The selectors going forward with how they manage him. We'll see how this game goes. He may get another over later on in the innings. Just needs to do some bowling, I think, get his rhythm back. Bowler capable of hitting speeds that no one else in Japan does, but it's just not gone for him today. The injury he's been carrying maybe playing into his mind. Kento Otodobel has no such problems. Got his first international wicket yesterday. Let's see how he goes today.
Play and a miss. A wild swing, but given a wide by umpire. Rob there.
So following these matches and following the 4 matches each of these teams will play during the tournament, both teams will enter or re-enter the ICC ranking system, having dropped out earlier in the year because they hadn't played enough games. Yeah, that's just edged down to third man for a single. Yeah, each country needs to play 6 matches over a 4-year period, or since the 1st of May 2019, to have a ranking. Seems a bit mad that you just lose your ranking after a certain amount of time, but that's how the ICC decided to do things. That means coming into the tournament, none of the 3 teams taking part have a ranking. So should their tournament not have the requisite number of matches played, which is 60% in any tournament for the tournament to actually count and for a winner to be declared, the ICC will go back to the previous time these 2 teams met in an ICC tournament, which is all the way back in 2018, where Korea finished ahead of both Japan and Indonesia.
Well, nicely played
That's
through the
cut away
offside.
to the boundary again. The runs continuing to flow for Indonesia in a way that Japan never got anywhere near. Never looked like scoring runs at the rate like this today, Japan. Indonesia looking like they're playing on a different pitch. They look like a different team.
They look like a different team, absolutely. Also goes to show what scoreboard pressure can do to a team, as they found out in the last couple of games. And chasing a relatively comfortable target today here allows them the freedom to express themselves, to play their shots, not worry about losing wickets in a heat.
Yeah, and Japan are giving them freebies too. 2 wides in this over, the wides and the no balls in the first over. I mean,
yes, hasn't been a good start for Japan with the ball
just
either.
Not been a good day, has it?
No, just one of those forgettable days for Japan on the field. So far, of course, things can change in very quick time.
48 runs still to get. That is squirted in the air. Fielders underneath it, and Japan have a wicket. So that looks like Declan. No, that's Lachlan Yamamoto Lake with the catch. So Tadaris is the man out. It's a wicket for Kento Otodobel.
First breakthrough for Japan, which allows them the chance to settle down a little more, take their time with the ball, rearrange and reorganize themselves. There's not a lot of runs to play for, of course, for Japan, and Indonesia suffering their first setback. They still have plenty of batting to come.
It's about the first thing to cheer for Japan today, isn't it? But Kento Otodobel will be happy enough, and yeah, I'm sure there'll be some words in the middle, get the whole team together.
Yes, at the halfway mark, Japan was about 53 for 2 there, going into the last 10 overs of the game, and they were bowled out with another 3.5 overs to be bowled. Indonesia, of course, not looking to make any such mistakes out here this time, and looking to salvage some pride and, of course, victory in this third T20I.
Someone on the chat saying about the last time these teams all met in the tournament, Korea finishing second. They did finish second despite not being able to win the tournament coming into the final round of matches. They managed to beat Japan in that last game with nothing riding on it, and they beat them by enough to just step into second place. So they were never in the running to win the tournament after early losses to the Philippines and Japan. But they do have some handy players in their lineup, and Japan and Korea have had a pretty good rivalry. Certainly in my time, the last 9 years in Japan. If Japan, we have beaten them the last few times we've played them, but that final game aside. Well, that one's just bobbled away from the wicketkeeper, so there'll be, I think, byes signalled there. But yeah, it's a good contest, and coming into this tournament, with these two and three teams having not played cricket for so long, you just don't really know what you're going to get. The Japan team, as we've already discussed, is much changed. Who knows what we're going to get from Korea? It could be a similar case for them as well. So,
yes, having a chat with Chris Thurgate the other day was also has, through his international umpiring assignments,
bowled him.
Excellent wicket there by
Priyandana. Now that is a lift. That's just gone straight through him, knocked over leg stump. And Priyandana is the man who was doing the damage in the first over, got all the runs yesterday. They finally found a way to dismiss him. And as it stands, that will make things a little bit more interesting. Indonesia's batting has looked like it lacked a bit of depth. The Japanese guys a bit more up and about after that wicket. So, what do you say?
Definitely.
Hope springs eternal?
Absolutely. Why doesn't it? 2 wickets down, suddenly Ota Dobel coming in with a little bit of pace there. Definitely looked like hurried Priyandana on that occasion. The ball slipping through and finding the stumps. And suddenly Indonesia find themselves with 2 new batters at the crease.
Paddy serves a new man in. He's gone okay over the course of the series. He's got starts in each of the innings.
Yes. Survey there along with... we have to really squint our eyes to find the jersey number behind the yellow shirts of the Indonesian boys.
Yeah, it is a bit of a battle. Bit of chat about the East Asia Cup, which is coming up in Kaisuka at the end of the month. Japan women taking on Hong Kong. China, of course, had to pull out due to the pandemic. They're still under lockdown in China, so travelling wasn't really an option for them, whilst Korea women's team are struggling for numbers, I understand, so they won't be taking part either, but looking forward to getting the Hong Kong women over. Ibi Takahashi to continue.
Yeah, there's a little more energy from the Japan boys after that anticlimactic first over, so to speak.
Yeah, 2 players on 0, 3 overs gone, so he's 17 overs chasing 47 to win the game, so it's almost like you're starting again.
Still a lot to play for in this game for both the teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's an international game, and all of these matches count towards ranking points and everything else, so you don't want to lose any games that you're capable of winning, and I think that will be the conversation
Absolutely.
that the management will have with the Japan team.
And gives both the teams an opportunity to give a good account of themselves just heading into a very important East Asia Pacific qualifier, which is the winner of which advances to play the next rounds of these qualification campaigns.
Yeah, if Indonesia can get themselves over the line here, they will be such a huge confidence boost for them going into that tournament, having been beaten pretty badly in these first 2 games. It'll be the lift they need for Japan. It will be a bit of a check. Still a bit of work to do, though. This game's not done yet.
Yes, coming back to the Japan innings earlier in the day, losing 7 wickets for 22 runs there in the next 6 overs after the 10th over break. Also, I would venture a guess and think it was a little bit of impatience on the part of some of the more inexperienced members of the team, of course. A lot of people making their debuts. And it showed in the shot selections on certain occasions, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We saw yesterday, once the guys got in, they were able to score pretty freely, but no one seen, Takahashi and Chile Patmore apart, nobody really got him today in the Japan
they
team.
didn't really give themselves the chance to get a look in and take their time a little more, because the opportunity was there for the taking for all of the batters, and Japan did bat deep, at least on paper. But Indonesia, to their credit, of course, coming back very well into the game.
Bell to continue. 2 wickets in his first over. Did concede 7 runs. After a strong over from Takahashi, just conceded 1. So yeah, Indonesia will start being... They'll feel a little wobbly if one of these goes, I suspect. Particularly if it's Paddy Serve, who has been doing pretty well with the bat in this series. He's on strike now, yet to get off the mark.
Oh, nicely struck into the gap there by Survey.
That'll be a chase.
3 fielders chasing after the ball.
And they'll come back for a third, so that's good running from the Indonesians.
Yes, excellent running there by the Indonesians. Keeping the scoreboard moving along.
Yeah, they don't exactly need a lot of runs and over. They've already got the runs that they need for this over now with that 3. So don't need to take any risks. From a Japan point of view, it'll be about creating opportunities, whether that's run-out chances, whether it's edges or playing false shots. They've got to try and find a way to dismiss this team because they're not going to win this game by restricting them to such a low total. They've got to get them out. They haven't done that yet in this series. Bowl the team all out. So
you're right.
Even with Rail Sakalano's 5-for, they didn't bowl them all out.
Yes, Indonesia finishing with 78 for 9 on that occasion in the first game. He scooped it up in the air, but just falling short of the fielder at mid-off.
Run out chance, having a go, not quite making it.
Ibi Takahashi, they're missing the stumps.
So this game still very much in Indonesia's favour. Otodobel beating the bat to conclude the over. He's bowling pretty nicely. And the ball just dying a little bit on its way through to the keeper. Sun's out. It's a hot day. As we approach midday. Sun beating down. Be perfect for an afternoon game.
Absolutely.
So 5 overs gone. Indonesia 38 for 2. And they'll be feeling pretty happy with their day's work so far. New uniforms have done the job for them. Piyush Kumbhare is rolling his arm over. Looks like he's going to come into the attack. Left arm spinner.
Yes, a little change in the angle there for Japan from the school end. The left armer will be coming across from the umpire, bowling round the stumps.
Yeah, Piyush picked up a wicket in his first over in game 1. Sat out yesterday. Back out there today. Keen to make up for the dismissal in the first innings.
Yes, had a very short stay in the middle.
Going for a big shot in his second delivery, contributing to that collapse.
There's a little bit of a misfield there.
And that's pressure on the fielder by the batting side has enabled him to get the single. So that'll be a bit of frustration. You want to try and...
Yes, Takahashi shaking his head there, not being able to collect the ball cleanly. The batters did cross over for a quick single.
When you're defending such a small total, you've got to grab everything that comes. Misfields, catch opportunities, run-out chances. You've really got to take everything. You can't be giving easy pressure releases by misfielding inside the circle.
Oh yes, the bowlers will have to be backed up with some excellent fielding here.
That's a decent shout. Umpire's not interested. It's drifting down leg side, I think, from Kumbhare. Umpire Adam Burst wasn't interested at all.
A nice clean action by Kumbare there. A very slow approach to the crease and a nice high arm, left arm action.
That's
And
back
he's
to
been
him.
taken.
He likes a cordon bold, Piyush Kumbare, and he's grabbed that one.
He's well known for his cotton bowled efforts.
He'll be really pleased with that. It's another wicket to his name. It's 3 down now, Indonesia. And Japan just trying to turn the screws, just trying to exert a bit of pressure, just trying to drag themselves back into this game.
Absolutely. Clawing back into the game, aren't they, Japan? That's a good, smart catch taken by Kumbare. The ball was coming in low at him. Indonesia, of course, making a very quick start in the first over, getting a lot of runs, and they still have not many runs to chase down. But Japan is making it hard for them to get the required runs as they can.
So 3 wickets down now. Kumbare in amongst it.
That's missed everything.
Squirted away.
Going to be wides, signaled by the umpire.
And we were saying just before the wicket that can't be giving anything away, can we? The Japan team needs to have as much discipline as they've ever had.
Yes, another 3 wides going in Indonesia's favour there.
It's a gift, isn't it? From an Indonesia point of view, if the bowling side are giving you freebies, you don't even need to play a shot. You can just block for 20 overs and hope the runs come in extras.
Absolutely.
So Japan have got to maintain their discipline. Indonesia are halfway to this target already. It's the end of the power play. They're 42 for 3. And Japan have got to find a way to take these last 7 wickets.
Yes, as we were mentioning earlier, that's the only way for Japan to be able to pull off a miracle here. That is if they're able to bowl Indonesia out.
Declan Suzuki's got the ball in his hand. Had looked okay with the bat until he just picked out a fielder. Power play's done. Just 2 out though.
Yes, Japan have to be aggressive here in order to get wickets. Can't be thinking about sitting back, even though they've just signalled Vinay Iyer to be moved back into a conventional deep fine leg position from short fine leg.
He's dropping, so it's 3 out. Deep square leg, deep fine, and third man. Suzuki's on the money.
Good start by Suzuki there. Who happened to be wearing Makoto Taniyama's number 23 jersey yesterday. And he's back wearing his conventional number 22.
Well, he's only wearing 22 because his shirt didn't arrive from India, where the shirts were manufactured. So hopefully come the tournament, he'll actually have his preferred number and his name on the back of his shirt.
Which is number 8, if we are to be believed.
Yeah, should be. So Indonesia just trying to remain calm. Plenty of supporters for Paddy Serve in the comments. Oh, ball then. There we go.
That kept low.
Declan Suzuki's got one. That's come in a long way. He's moved it off the deck. Beating the batsman. Indonesia 4 down. Japan just starting to believe. Wickets are falling regularly now.
Yes, they have clawed themselves back into this game already. It's as we were talking about, it's still a 50-50 game from the looks of it, with Indonesia having 4 down and just about half as many runs to get still.
You reckon WinViz is at 50-50, do you? I'm not sure. I think Indonesia, I'd still rather be in Indonesia's position.
I would still say the ball is in Indonesia's court.
But I think you're right. When wickets start falling regularly, a bit of panic starts to spread through the dressing room. Everyone's trying to pad up. Who's going in next?
Yes.
How do we approach it? Do we play big shots and try and win the game, or do we just try and survive? And in any game of cricket, when you're just looking to survive, trouble can come, can't it?
Absolutely. And in our local cricket circles, as we always talk about, like, it's all about one wicket always brings a second one. And they do get on a bit of a roll, the fielding side, as a result of that. And they seem to be coming back into the game. They have forced their way back into the game after a pretty horrible start to their bowling effort. It's nicely played, Suzuki, right on the money there.
Yeah. He's a competitor for sure. Won't be taking this lying down.
Yes, likes to be involved in the game. Had an excellent catch taken in the deep yesterday to finish off the proceedings, and has had an excellent start to his bowling effort today, Suzuki.
It's worked into the leg side. Just a single.
Good work done there by Vinay Iyer. Moves in quickly and whips the ball back to Shirai Patmore, who is back keeping today in place of Supun Navaratna, who had taken the gloves yesterday. He's not playing today.
My suspicion is that Shirai Patmore will have the gloves in the tournament. The ICC World Cup qualifiers, of course, will be available to watch on the ICC.TV and on the JCA YouTube channel in Japan. So if you're in Japan, you can watch it with Japanese commentary. But if you're elsewhere, it'll be ICC.TV, the place to watch it. It should be a really good production, 6 cameras, professional commentators. Yeah, it should be terrific. Plenty of clips will hopefully go up on the JCA social channels. Do follow us on Twitter, Cricket Japan, on Instagram at Japan Cricket, on Facebook. And of course, if you're watching this stream, hit subscribe, because the Women's East Asia Cup will also be streamed on the JCA's YouTube channel. So if you want to watch a bit of women's cricket, you can catch that there too. Don't miss all the things Japan Cricket. Our YouTube channel is kept pretty busy these days. We've had a good number of new followers join us in the last few days, and the more the merrier.
Yes, both Japan's men's and women's team in action this month in their respective international competitions.
Piyush Kumbhari is going to continue. 1 for 4 if it's first over. Sharp, caught and bowled chance.
Oh, that was close, wasn't it?
Half chance there, I think. Has he got bat on that? Yeah, that is.
There was a bit of bat on that.
Definitely bat on that.
Just eluded Shirai Patmore's extended.
Got part of a glove to it, I think. Got a finger to it.
Yeah,
Couldn't
I think
cling
he
on.
gloved it.
Keeps himself to pretty high standards. He'll be disappointed with that.
Yes, Kumbhari doesn't look to turn the ball a lot, but there was a lot of turn in the previous delivery, which did take the outside edge.
Yeah, he tends to bowl pretty much at the stumps, just hoping to get a little bit of turn to ask some questions. That one's a good example of that. The left armour coming around the wicket to a right-hander. You've got LBW in play as well as all the other modes of dismissal. So he is quite an attacking left-arm spinner. Still 34 runs required.
6 wickets in hand still for Indonesia. Still on top in this game.
Yep. The Japan spinners looking to exert a bit of control. I suspect we'll see Makoto Taniyama before too long. Kumbhari's raced through that over, just a single from it off the half chance. if that had been snagged. Indonesia could have been really staring down the barrel as it is. These two are clinging on. We've got Kadek at the crease along with Ramamurthy.
Nicely struck through cover.
That is a decent shot. They'll cut it off, so no boundary there.
That's a long part of the boundary, isn't it, Alan?
Yeah, it's a long boundary out there. Towards ground 2. Bit of running. Declan Suzuki's itching to get back amongst it. Keepers up to the stumps. We saw Navaratna standing back to Suzuki yesterday, but Patmore standing up. Dave Hall, big appeal.
Big shout for an LBW, but
nothing doing. Tell you what, looks a decent shout. Possibly outside the line of off stump. Possibly. One of those as an umpire, you've got to be 100% sure to give it.
absolutely, we don't have the reviews here.
Suzuki is all over them, isn't he?
Yes, he's had a bit of confidence in his first over wicket and has allowed Japan to claw back into this game, to keep Indonesia on their feet, and to keep thinking about the ways they can counter this this bowling effort by Suzuki, who seems to be on target.
Oh,
Shuffling in the batter this time.
Might have come off something.
Clips off the thigh, most likely. I'm not very sure if the batter is wearing a thigh guard.
There's no signal, so maybe that came off the glove.
Yeah, runs still coming off the bat on that occasion.
There'll be some nerves for these batters, I'm sure, chasing a little target. I tell you what, Tamoy, I actually really enjoy a low-scoring game of cricket. I find there's that much more jeopardy on them, that much more nervy.
They do add a little bit of a new dimension to it, doesn't it?
I enjoy seeing us, sixes hit as much as the next guy, but yeah, these low-scoring matches, they're just different level of tension.
Absolutely. Quick wickets falling does add to the drama, after all. That'll be signalled
wide signalled.
Once more. Japan have struggled with controlling their lines on this occasion, this game, haven't they?
Yeah, giving away a few too many extras.
Yeah, you can't afford to do that in low-scoring fixtures. You got to keep the lines as tight as you can and allow the batters to score the runs off the bat at whatever opportunity that they can get. Appeal for
Appeal again,
catch behind, but
still nothing doing.
no contact between bat and ball there. End of the over.
Taniyama coming in. Big moment for him. In terms of international cricket, he's the most experienced player Japan have. Went pretty well with the ball in hand in the first game. 1 for 10 off his 4. Japan would take that right now.
Yes, a few more wickets in the wicket column, definitely.
Had a rest yesterday, and he'll be annoyed with his dismissal today as well, clipping one back to the bowler when he was the last recognised batter, really. Deep in conversation with the skipper.
Yes, Kendall, Kadawaki, Fleming, they're a lot more involved in the field placings.
Just sending long on round a little bit. Sibi Takahashi down there, Declan Suzuki's down at long off. Deep cover. Deep square leg. Those are the catches. So 3 in the circle on the offside. He's gone through them. Take a single.
Really likes to flight the ball, Taniyama. He's going to be giving the ball a fair bit of rip to get as much purchase as he can from this turf. Also has a very deceptive wrong on.
Yeah, he's always given the ball a big rip, Taniyama. Just changing the field, they're sending square leg back to the boundary. And mid-on has come up into the circle. Still just 4 out. Now, extra covers coming into the circle as well. So trying to put the squeeze on here. Only 29 needed for Indonesia. And struggling to get him away.
Yes, Japan doing well to take the pace off the ball, and seems like a strategy that was also very well employed by Indonesia in their bowling effort.
Yeah.
Taking pace off the ball.
Yeah, the spinners have been effective, haven't they? Just Kento Otodok Bell.
Nicely played over there. Back foot punch.
It's down into the
cover.
corner right away from us. Difficult for us to see, but it's been cut off by Declan Suzuki. Couple of runs. The other great thing about a low-scoring match, Tamoy, is it's actually easier from a development point of view to educate people about the game when you've got a low-scoring match, because you get that tension and you get that drama and that jeopardy on every ball. Whereas those high-scoring games, there's almost too much going on to be able to explain what's happening.
Yes, it kind of slows the pace of the game down as well when it's a high-scoring encounter, because most of the time you have the ball being splayed over all parts of the ground, fielders chasing after them, over rates going haywire.
Yeah, it's exciting, but it's difficult to explain.
Yes,
sometimes.
absolutely.
Whereas the beauty of cricket for me is people getting excited about nothing happening. That's always been the thing for me.
And the action is always restricted to the pitch itself, isn't it? On most occasions in a low-scoring affair, because the ball keeps missing the bat, and I think we've already reached the halfway mark of the Indonesian innings here.
Yeah, 10 over break.
Short bit of break.
2.5 minutes, so 53 for 4 Indonesia. Japan were in a similar position. I think there might have been you'll have to remind me, Tamoy.
53 for 2, I think.
We're only a couple of wickets down.
They had more wickets in hand at the
so
stage.
Yeah, things can turn. Japan really fell over after the break, so...
Yeah, whether they can tighten the screws even more from here on in, it's going to be very interesting to watch.
Let's see what words of inspiration Coach Bedingfield can bring into the circle. And the Indonesian batters will just be told to keep calm.
Yes, just batting through their overs is going to be enough for Indonesia to get over the line on this occasion.
Some guy in the comments saying that no Japanese watch cricket here. Well, I'm not sure you've been to the ground, mate, because we had plenty. We had, in fact, even if you were here today, the cameras aren't going to show it, but the tea room is chock full of local Japanese cricket supporters.
Yes.
Who all are members of the Sano Supporter Club. They're having a meeting and then making a day of it.
I think just the fact that you mentioned the supporters club already means that there are quite a group of supporters there.
Ramat Ramadan makes the excellent point that as far as the stream is concerned, the Japanese people will be watching the Japanese language stream.
Absolutely.
They won't be listening to our commentary, thank goodness. We have tried to cater for our local fan base by providing a Japanese language stream and an English stream for those of you who prefer to follow the game in English.
Yes, our colleague Shun Hashiba on the Japanese commentary there.
Yeah, he's done all 3 days. Good on him, Shun. Taking a day off work to be here today, and he's doing all 4 days of the tournament as well, and he's going to do all 4 days of the East Asia Cup too. So Shun Hashiba is really becoming the voice of Japan cricket. He runs his podcast, so if you are a Japanese speaker, Chanomi Cricket is where to tune in and have a listen to Shun and his sidekick Takuro Hagihara.
And also happens to repair cricket bats whenever he's available, which he does a fabulous job of. And I must extend my thanks to Shun as a result of that as well, for helping me out on occasions.
Has he fixed up your bat? Has he? Yeah, he was fixing up Sabarash Ravichandran's back the other day. Sabarash rested today, of course, given a breather. Oh, Tokyo Wombats telling me how good our commentary is. That's good of them, isn't it? Some of the Wombats clearly not at work today, or perhaps just not working.
That might be the more likely option there. Kumbare seems to be back. He's changed ends around.
Yeah, interesting change of ends.
Beaten all ends up.
Got him.
That's excellently delivered.
That
First
has
up.
turned away from him, and it's just out off stump, I think. We're so far away, I can't see anything, but
turned right across the right-hander on that occasion.
Yep. Bails off. He's just hit the top of off stump. What a way to start.
That's a
the
dream
first ball
dismissal.
From a left-arm spinner. That is exactly what you dream of, isn't it?
Absolute dream dismissal for a left-arm spinner. Turning it right across the face of the right-hander.
Well, we said, didn't we, Tamoy, that it was the drinks break that did for the Japanese batters.
Absolutely.
Well. 53 for 5.
5 down, half the side back in the hut. I'm not quite sure of how deep Indonesia bats, because we haven't really seen the Indonesian batters putting up a very high total.
Yeah, and they've rested a couple of guys in this game as well.
Yes.
The skipper, Gamantika, we haven't seen a lot of. Ahmad Ramdoni's coming in.
Ramdoni
keeper.
has had...
he's been out a couple of times, but I'm not sure he's made much of an impact in the series so far. And
he did have an improved performance yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
So, nerves, twitchiness. Of course, the coach goes out there, he gives a message to the 2 batters. Don't worry, guys, here's your plan. And then straight away,
the exact
ball,
opposite.
That plan's out the window.
The exact opposite has happened.
It does bring that, like I said, that chaos, that confusion, that, unrest among the batting side when you're waiting to go in. The collapse is just awful.
Absolutely. And Kumbare seems to have had 2 wickets already. And
2 for 5 from 2 overs, and suddenly...
And from both ends at that.
Yeah, 27 runs needed. It starts to feel like a lot of runs, doesn't it?
It does.
You've only got 5 wickets left.
That's what scoreboard pressure can do for you. At the start of the game, there were, 20 runs scored off the first over itself?
Yeah, so if you take those 20 runs out, that's a big
another
appeal.
close shout.
They've scored 33 runs in the next 9 overs, so it has been tight.
Absolutely, and if you were to take out the extras, there's not too many runs being scored off the bat.
That's a good point. The opening batter, Priyandana, has had a decent series.
Oh, he went
well.
Hasn't he? He has, definitely.
He went well with the bat in the first innings, but
probably been
no one else has made double figures.
Yes, Priyandana has definitely been Indonesia's standout batsman throughout this series. Scored runs in pretty much all of the 3 games. Didn't go on to make a big score in the first and the third fixture here. But the pressure is right back on the Indonesians now.
Yeah, the plan, I think, was for the 2 openers to go hard. They've scored 19 and 8 between them, strike rate of 158 and 133, but no one else has been able to get going at all. Gamantika Kadek.
And we've had
the captain, he's been and gone. He was that last wicket. He was trying to move, but the captain gone as well.
Priyandana has gone away with a wicket maiden after changing ends.
Piyush Kumbare is enjoying his time out there, wishing he played yesterday as well, I'm sure. Makoto Taniyama will continue. So
Apologies there.
Makoto Taniyama just 3 off the first over, looking to bamboozle the Indonesian batters. That's
That'll be
wide. Can't be doing that.
Yeah, Taniyama looking to flight the ball, getting as much turn as he can from this wicket.
That's better.
There is a lot of
Back
turn.
on the money. Don't forget you can watch or you can find the scorecard on the JCA app, the Japan Cricket app. Just download that. You can follow all the scores that Japan Cricket have in domestic and international cricket. That's in the air. There's men coming round. I think it's going to land safe.
Eyes
Oh.
hit on the face of Takahashi there. No, it's not Takahashi. Sure.
Just popped.
On the bounce, the fielder was pretty committed going for the catch there, but fell well short of him.
He seems all right.
Yeah, he's all right.
Can't see who it is. Might be Yamamoto, maybe?
Good
It's
stop
wide
there.
again for
Short
Taniyama.
cover.
Taniyama just struggling for his lines a little bit. It's another
toss
big
on
shot.
this
They're
occasion.
and that's going to split the fielders. And that's a release that they needed. They haven't had a boundary in, well, it felt like
Absolutely.
forever. And
Absolutely. That was drilled. That was drilled down the leg side. A little bit of a freebie, wasn't it? Like a full
Yeah.
toss down the leg side.
yeah, every single bowler's got to be right on it when you're defending these kind of totals. You can't be giving anything away. Taniyama's just struggling for his lines and now his lengths.
Yes, that's one of the challenges of being a leg spinner. If you don't settle into a length, it's going to be very difficult to come back into the game.
60 for 5 now, 20 runs needed. Taniyama again. It's a bit wide, but he's just bottom edged it into the turf.
We haven't seen much of variations from Taniyama yet, so
There is a lot of turn.
there is a lot of turn. It'll be interesting to see what he has up in store if he wants to slip in a wrong un at this stage.
Last ball, yeah, they just dropped Takahashi back to long on.
Conventional leg spin once again, straight to the fielder.
That's the over. So 7 runs from it. That's a good over for Indonesia. Just tips things back in their favour again. Kambari is going to bowl, I think, his last over.
Yes, he comes back for
He's
his
got the ball in his
fourth.
hand. He's been a threat. Absolutely. That is chipped. It's going to fall safe.
Just short of the fielder running in from long on. Takahashi there, doing the duty on long on both ends of the ground. He does like to field in the deep.
Yeah, they obviously back him as a catcher. That's the reason he's in those positions.
Definitely.
So a little bit of intent there. Ramdoni, who'd been struggling. Let's get a first run in 6. Kambari now to continue to Ramamurthy.
Comfortably played down to long on for a single.
I mean, this is all Indonesia need to do.
That's it.
They've
Just keep driving the ball along the ground.
They can't let themselves be overawed or be dictated to by the bowlers. They've
Absolutely.
perhaps done that a little bit in the last few overs. They've allowed
Absolutely.
Japan to bowl at them, but Japan now is being asked some different questions. The pressure coming back on them.
And the field is decently spread out, which means there are enough scoring opportunities to keep turning the strike over.
It's such a tough balance to strike as a captain, isn't it? Where you put your fields, you've got to protect the boundaries, but you've got to take wickets.
Absolutely.
Have to
Build
take
enough
wickets.
pressure.
The run rate required is under 2.5, so that's not going to be the problem. For Indonesia, it's the wickets. Can Japan bowl them out? Attempted big stroke into the leg side, but just straight to the fielder and a single. Don't need any more than that, though. It's been 3 runs in this over, and I was about to describe it as a good over for Indonesia. And I think every over that goes by without the wicket falling, they'll be breathing slightly easier. That's the end of Kumbara's spell. 4 overs, 2 for 8. Fantastic bowling from him.
He's rushed through his 4 overs, hasn't he?
He really has. He gets to them quickly, just comes off a few paces. Just brings a bit of variation to the Japan attack as well, having that left arm option.
Absolutely. And it's a priceless asset to have a left arm spinner in your ranks.
Yeah, absolutely. He's there. He's picked initially to mentor Sorei Chiki, one of the under-19 bowlers, who's a left arm spinner as well. Took 6 wickets for 2 runs in a University League match earlier this season. So, change of bowler. It looks like Tanyama's going to have a rest. Kento Otodobel has got the ball back in his hand. A couple of wickets in his first spell. Change of ends for him.
Yes, a mini partnership building over there which needs to be broken for Japan's case, of course.
I think this might be a really, really key over.
Definitely.
Because with the pace back on, the Indonesians might fancy themselves to squeeze another boundary or 2 away, but if another wicket falls, the cat will be amongst the pigeons again. Oh dear.
Starts off with wide.
That is not what Japan wanted. It's exactly what they don't want.
The more number of balls this partnership ends up facing without losing another wicket, is the game just keeps tilting in Indonesia's favor, doesn't it?
Back online. Japan have given away no ball and 10 wides.
Yes, they have to keep
2 free overs they've given Indonesia. Just can't give those kind of runs.
Keep up the pressure on the Indonesian batsmen, make them work for their runs.
It's pretty warm in here, Tanmai. I'm getting cooked. I feel like I'm sat in an oven. Aggression there. Into the leg side again. Man at square leg will come back. They're going to look for 2. And they'll get there too.
It's well run by the...
Good running by the Indonesians. Paul Grant's students down in Melbourne. There's plenty of Indonesians in the class. They're all up and about. They're enjoying themselves. The Japanese fans in the class are hoping for some more wickets. There'll be a few Japanese fans thinking the same way. Kento Otodobel grabbed a couple in his first over. He needs to produce something similar now. Game of cricket's never over until the final ball is delivered, of course. Final runs need to be scored. The final wickets need to be taken. So just 14 required. Still 6.5 overs to go. So no issues on that front. Japan trying to force a collapse. Indonesia doing everything they can to avoid one.
Yorked.
Full, straight, blocked out. We've got Savitsky official commenting in the YouTube comments. He said the same thing 4 times. I think he's just copying and pasting each time, so I guess I should read it out.
Okay.
Good to see international cricket playing in various countries need to more support to associate nation by ICC. Yes,
We agree.
the ICC, well, they do support. They do
Well played.
give out funding. They support the teams, the countries, the members, I should call them. Support the members that support themselves. So the more proactive you are as a ICC member nation, the more support they'll give you. Yeah, we're pretty grateful for the support we received from the regional office. Rob Gom will be over here in a few days. Get ready for the tournament. Toby Cohen was here in August, bringing the World Cup trophy tour around Japan. I think it's more the decision makers in the head office in Dubai that we perhaps need a little bit more on our side. Ben looks like he's given up. He thinks this game's done. 13 runs to win for Indonesia. Declan Suzuki, he's not done. He won't be throwing in the towel. Thought he bowled beautifully in his first 2 overs. I might have been inclined to keep him on the way he was bowling. He was definitely asking some questions. Got another chance now. Cricket's a funny old game, isn't it? It's got a habit of coming back to bite you. Japan, so dominant with the bat yesterday, scoring at more than 11 and over. Today, couldn't even make 80.
Humbled with the bat on this occasion.
That's a bit wide. It's going to be called.
Been pretty inconsistent with the ball for Japan on today. In contrast to Indonesia's much improved effort with the ball as well as in the field, it took on some excellent catches, must say.
Well, these 2 batters, I mean, they've faced 37 balls between them. They're not exactly racing along, 5 off 15, 9 off 22, but they're still in. And that's been the key thing.
And there's another wide there. The batsman having
More freebies.
Not helping Japan's cause, defending a very low total.
Perhaps a case of trying too hard, I think, Declan Suzuki.
Yes, they're straying too straight on that occasion. That's been excellently cut away. Will only be a 1. Yes, Declan Suzuki overcorrecting himself on that occasion. He had a wide called on the offside and then a wide called on the leg side.
I thought his lines were spot on in his first spell, but not quite going for him today.
Yes, looked a little gingerly in his second spell coming in.
That was Shogo Kimura pinging that ball back. Once you've been in for as long as these 2 batters have, remember it's taken the sting
So
from
also
that first wicket after the drinks break.
a different contrast to the situation
That some of Japan's batters were in at this stage because they had to set the total. And it's just a different situation these batters find themselves in right now.
Yeah.
They can afford to take that time because they don't really have the pressure of the scoreboard dictating terms to them.
Savitsky's back. He's finally found another comment. He reckons the broadcast quality needs to improve. Thanks for the feedback, buddy. Good to have you. We're doing the best with what we've got. Before this, we only had 1 stationary camera. So we've got 3 cameras for this one. Commentary as well. That takes 4 members of staff. Perhaps if we can find some funding, some sponsorship, we'll be able to up the standards. But for the meantime, we'll be looking forward to the World Cup qualifier, which is happening later in the week, starting on Saturday. ICC TV will have a 6-camera setup, thanks to IMG and their barrels of cash, who are making sure that that's all done. It's a wide again from Declan Suzuki as the target required comes down to 8 single figures now for Indonesia. Declan Suzuki trying to make something happen. Bader's looking pretty comfortable now. Don't need to try anything, don't need to do anything, don't really need to play any shots. They can just get bad on ball and singles will come. In this over, we've had 4 wides gifted to them. Haven't needed to work that hard in some of these overs. There was a time when Japan tried to haul themselves back into the game, but even the most optimistic of Japanese cricket supporter will be struggling to see a light at the end of this particular tunnel now. It's the end of the over. 74 for 5 from 15.
5 to get.
6 to get.
6 to get. 80 to win. A little bit of dropping shoulders in the Japan corner. It's been a rather tame end to their series from what it looks like. Of course, still Takahashi coming into bowl for his third.
It's a landmark day for Indonesia, should they cross this line, of course. It'll be their first ever T20 international victory.
Absolutely.
Cause for celebration for those guys.
And they've...
Japan, it'll be just a bit of a reality check after such a good showing over the first 2 days.
Yes, and hard-earned victory for Indonesia, of course, after a humbling 2 days on the first 2 games.
Half an appeal there, but not sure.
Helmets off for the batter once again.
That's up in the air. That should be taken. Keeper's got his name on it. It's a wicket for Takahashi. Well, probably academic. Ramamurthy's stay has ended. 6 wickets down now, Indonesia.
Could there be another twist in the tail here, Alan?
I tell you what, Tamoy, it will be the biggest twist since somebody did the twist and shout. And I will shout if Japan somehow managed to pull this off. Hat-trick wouldn't go amiss, would it?
And definitely not. Definitely not.
But it shows, you know, he's tried to play a big shot there. He's got ahead of himself a little bit.
Yes.
Didn't really need to play that, and it's cost him.
No, trying to be a little too adventurous there. A little finishing off with in a grand fashion. It's not really needed when you have these many overs still to face.
Yep, required rate at 1.3 and over. Ibi Takahashi looking to improve his figures, add some more wickets into his international tally.
And he's taken
2 and 2. That's a great take. Lachlan Yamamoto Lake with the catch at short cover. First ball. I mentioned the hat trick. He's got an opportunity now, Tamoy.
2 and 2 for Takahashi there. Excellent catch, smartly taken by Yamamoto Lake at short cover. Driven straight to him. It just had to move to its right a little bit and snapped it up very comfortably. And Japan is looking to cause a very strange upset here because Indonesia are 7 down all of a sudden. And 3 wickets to go, but Takahashi is on a hat-trick.
That batter came and went pretty fast.
That was a first ball
You can
duck.
see who it was.
That was a first ball duck for... We are going to be checking the names once again.
My computer's been in the sun for about 3 hours. It's about to explode.
Yes, which is why we've had to put our cell phones away because they're overheating on this hot day out here in Sano. Almost looks like a different ground altogether.
That was Artawan, the leg spinner. He'd had such a good day so far. And the first ball duck.
Hat-trick ball.
Hat-trick ball for Takahashi. Oh, he's
Balls are
drifted
wide,
it down
which
leg
is-
side.
He's still on a hat-trick ball, that means.
Well, does it count? I don't know.
another one
Ibi
on the other side.
Takahashi. 2 wickets in 2 balls, followed by 2 wides. 5 needed. Indonesia is 7 down.
It's down to 4 now, I think.
With that wide. They're within a hit.
And misses his hat trick, finally. But 3 wickets to take, 4 runs to get.
Yeah, don't give it away. And that's
It's been
squirted away behind square. They're going to run.
Square.
They'll run 2.
Scores a level.
They don't come back for a third.
We have 2 more runs to get.
So 78, 1 run behind. It's going to take a miracle now for Japan, but they have made Indonesia work for it, and they have shown fight in the field. They won't be happy with the way things have gone today, but they didn't give up. They didn't give in. And you know that look back at that first over. 20 runs conceded in that first over, of course, and
Yes, would have been a very different game altogether.
we'll also look back at those last 5 overs and the collapse that Japan had. If they just stuck around and squeezed out a few more runs, and maybe things might have gone differently. But it's a learning curve, and that's smacked over the
That's
top.
it.
That'll be the victory for Indonesia. It's their first ever T20 international win.
Congratulations to Indonesia, and hugs all around, punching of the gloves.
Yeah, it's
and
been played in really good spirits between the 2 teams.
absolutely excellent.
They've mingled
played
off
in
the
very good
field.
Spirits.
Yeah, they've mingled off the field, and they will do again. We've got lunch catered for both teams. There'll be a bit of a presentation after this.
And we have the all-important job of choosing the man of the series after this now.
We do. Not quite sure who that's going to be. Going to put my
It's
thinking
going
hat
to be
on.
It's going to be a tough call with some very interesting and impressive performances from both sides, from both teams, all through this 3-game series. And the teams are making their way onto the field to shake hands all around.
Yeah, a word for the umpires. Rob Newman and Adam Burse, Chris Thurgate doing 2 games in the last 2 days. They've been excellent, I think. They've had a good run of it.
Yes, well officiated, of course, even during the tough conditions over the first couple of days.
Yeah, so it's a win by 3 wickets for Indonesia, their first in T20 internationals. I'm Alan Kerr, this is Tanmoy Mukherjee. We're going to sign off. Thanks very much for being with us. Don't forget to subscribe to the JCA YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're on across all those platforms. The match report will be up in a few hours on the JCA website, cricket.or.jp. Great to have had you with us. Keep supporting Japan cricket, and hopefully we'll see you back in just a few days for the start of the World Cup qualifiers. 9:30, Saturday the 15th of October. Japan will be playing in the afternoon game. Starting at 1:30, Japan will take on Korea. So we hope to have you with us there, and keep supporting Japan and whichever other team, and generally associate cricket. Thanks again. Thank you, Tanmoy.
Thank you, Alan, for the opportunity.